Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review for tonight's match commentary of West Ham United against Newcastle United from the London Stadium. And the teams are out, so we may as well dive straight into that and have a look at the teams. We'll start with West Ham United, the home side. They go with Fabianski, Kera, Aguerd, Zuma, Emerson, Declan Rice, the captain, Souček, Paqueta, Bowen, Antonio, Benrahma. So they've certainly got some attacking players on the pitch today, everybody. So they will be going for it. And, well, you know, you'd expect them to be, with it being the situation they're in. They desperately need a win today to get themselves away from relegation. However, with us, a couple of changes. Here we are. We've got Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, who is captain, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joelinton comes in for Joe Willock, Jacob Murphy, Alain Saint-Maximin, and Callum Wilson replacing Alexander Isak. Very bold decision by Eddie Howe. Now, I'm not sure whether he's gone on the fact that, you know, Callum has a fabulous record against West Ham, whether he's gone for that or he's just simply resting Isak with another game coming up, of course, at Brentford on Saturday. But we do have a very strong bench, of course. Anderson's there, Isak's there, you know, Anthony Gordon's there, Joe Willock is there. So we've got a very, very strong bench, guys. So strong 11 for me. You know, it's up to Callum now. He's got his opportunity to play tonight. So let's just hope that he bangs in a few goals for Newcastle United. If you do like tonight's stream, by the way, guys, please don't forget to hit that like button. Really important to us. And as you can see there, currently on 17,929 subscribers. Really looking to push that up close to the 18,000 mark. And hopefully within the next few days, we will hit that mark. So please share. Do everything you can to get this channel up to where we think it belongs, and onwards and upwards from there indeed. And of course, you can super chat the channel. If you want to make a donation to the channel, just hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments, and that will take you through to the payment method. So thank you, everybody, in advance for that as well. We'll go through a few comments. Steve says, even and all, that's what I call a bench. Yes, it's very strong. And we haven't been able to say that in recent times, have we? You know, yes, Sunday's bench was strong as well. This, for me, is even stronger with the players that we have there ready to come on and do a job. For me, I'm not too worried how this goes tonight, to be honest. I think we're going to win the game. I'm very, very optimistic, providing we go at West Ham the same way that we did Manchester United. Very, very important that we do that. West Ham will be looking for a very good start to the game, and I think it's very important that we nullify that very quickly, and we stop them getting a little bit confident, and we quieten the crowd. So you know, that's what we need to do. We need to quiet the crowd down, and we'll see where we go from there. Very, very important that we play our normal game as well, and we don't get sucked in. I'd hate to think that we got sucked in to any sort of gamesmanship, I think, is probably the right word to use. But look, I'm confident we win this game today. And I think most Newcastle fans are. You know, we've got a long way to go, definitely. However, this could be Champions League football, and this is what it's all about for me, without a shadow of a doubt. No, just bear with me, because I'm having to sort a little bit of a security issue out here, just to make sure that I'm not sure what it's asking me all this rubbish information for. Checking that I'm not a robot, which is interesting, because I'm certainly not a robot. Actually, I wonder if it's doing that because of that. Hang on, just 1 second. I think it thinks I'm in another part of the world, which is interesting. I'm not. I'm in good old Durham. Let's see if I can sign in here. Interesting. Sorry, guys. I know it's a pain in the arse me doing this, but it hasn't got me down as my normal subscription. So 2nd of April, apparently that's not right at all, because I've since made right. Just let me log in again. Guys, keep the chat going as well tonight. Lots to obviously talk about. Certainly a very, very big game. I'm expecting us to go at them very, very hard. As I say, very, very strongly. We've got a fantastic opportunity here to really cement third place. And with Tottenham, they're in a crazy bad form at the minute, aren't they? So I think we have to look at that and think, right, this is a huge opportunity to get some more points on the board. A lot of people have been saying, going to London and getting a certain amount of points would be good. I'd take a point or I'd take this. I think we just go for it, guys. I really do. I'm not frightened of anything from West Ham. I'm just not. And I maybe sound a bit sort of big-headed there and thinking, oh, you're writing West Ham off. I don't mean to do that because it's something that I'm very passionate about. Is Newcastle United. We've got a wonderful opportunity here to go and take some big points, and I think we'll do that. To be honest, I really do. Mickey the Mag says, hi, all looking forward to a good game and a fantastic show. David says, when we bring in another 3 or 4 top players in the summer, more players can be rested or have a 30-minute run out. 3 games in a week, says Stu. Yeah, that's probably why he's made the changes that he has. I think Eddie's like that. He will make changes if he has to. And I think he's very aware of Brentford at the weekend. I think Brentford are we know they're a good side, and we know that they're playing well. I just hope that, we're not going to, suffer too much. My system is going bananas here, guys. Do bear with me. I'm sorry about this. Getting error messages all over the shop. Dear me. It's saying that my subscription will end in 3 minutes, despite me just renewing it, which is a little bit bonkers, but hopefully that'll put itself right before the game. Let's go through some more of your comments. We have a strong bench, says Jan. Indeed, we do, Jan. First time this three has started together. Probably not Murphy, Maxi, and Wilson. They probably had a few games together, I think, over the time. Matty says, good to get some rotation in ahead of Brentford at the weekend. Our bench is much stronger, so no issues with the team. B for Vendetta says, keep Isak fresh for the next game. There will be a tougher test. I actually agree with that. I do think there will be a tougher test. However, let's not write West Ham off completely here. Shamrock says, strange decision for me. I don't agree with resting nonsense. You win the game in front of you. JP says, evening, Paul and the family. I'm hoping it's just rotation tonight. Understand Willock being left out with his hamstring, but not sure on Isak. But in Eddie, we trust. 2-0 to the Toon. Paul White, good evening. Hi, all. First time ever posting on here. Well, you're very welcome, mate. And I hope you've got yourself subscribed to the channel. And welcome to the Toon review. Glad to have you on board. Prola says, I hate that Isak doesn't play from the start, but we do need to rotate. The legend commentator is on. Thank you very much. Good evening, Sophia. Jock, good evening to you as well. Adam, thank you. I like coffee. So some Man United fans have been very, very salty after their loss. I came across one that called us the next Spurs. No trophies. I replied, without Casemiro, they're just Palace with a stadium upgrade. Well said, because there has been a lot of salt from the Manchester United fans. And it makes you laugh, doesn't it? It really does. It's one of those things that just they say that we're not getting to them, but for a fan base that's not getting to them, they're all over the shop, aren't they? They really are, biting to everything. Dave says, Willock benched. He's not benched. I think he's rested. Of course, he did have that slight little niggle with his hamstring at the end of the Man United game. So I do believe it's got something to do with that. We don't want to risk Willock getting a tear to that muscle or anything like that. So I think, playing him from the bench is a good idea. I'm not worried about that at all. Brian says, afternoon, Paul, at work, so won't be able to stay on for the watch along. Hello, everyone. Will you enjoy work while we sit back, kick back, and watch the Toon hammer West Ham? Scott says, come on, the Toon would take a draw tonight. I don't know, Scott. I'm very confident of a win, obviously, and I want to see us win the game. If we get a point here and beat Brentford on Saturday, fine. But out of the two, Brentford would be a well hard-earned point because of the way they're playing so far this season. And the teams they've beaten at the community stadium down there as well. They've beaten some good sides there this season. So, I would think the way West Ham have been playing this season, our pressing and intensity may be just too much for them tonight, I think. Fingers crossed anyway. But I genuinely believe that. Pedro says, I said Wilson would start, call me Eddie. Levi says, as long as we score more goals, we should win. Well, that's basic math. Michael says, it might be tougher than we think. Yeah, look, of course it's going to be a tough game. Every game in the Premier League is a tough game. But it's how we play. If we play our normal game, i.e. the way we did against Manchester United, I'm in no doubt that we win this game. I don't think West Ham can handle us if we play as well as that. Now, it's a big if because obviously, it's a few days ago. Some players might be carrying a little knocks or bruises here and there. However, this is professional football. This is what these guys are trained to do. These guys are, on the training pitch day and day out, working on the fitness, working on tactics, etc. And you bet your bottom dollar that Eddie will have the right tactics for tonight. He'll have watched West Ham religiously over the last 48 hours, probably. And he's put out a side that he believes will win this game. And certainly you can't say that, the players that have come into the starting 11, are bad players. Yes, Callum Wilson's had a bad run since Christmas, but that goal on Sunday against Manchester United is just what he needed. Hopefully that will kickstart him. And as for Joelinton, well, he needs no introduction, does he? Because he's been amazing. So, I'm not really worried about that. And the fact that we have a very strong bench tonight as well will show, because with the likes of Gordon, Isak, we've got Elliot Anderson there, Joe Willock as well to bring on. It's a very strong bench, guys. It's a very strong bench. And I've always said in the past that sometimes our bench, we haven't had game changers on it. Well, we do now. We can take off quality and bring on quality. Yeah, it's not the strongest squad in the world until we bring some more players in, absolutely. But this is pinnacle. And, to having a real good go at, the Champions League, this is it for us. We've got to go for it. And I do feel that we've got, the right bench tonight. I have to say, if rotation is the name of the game, why are we not starting Gordon over Murphy? Well, Gordon, of course, had the ankle injury, so I don't think he's 100% match fit yet. Murphy will run forever. There's never an issue with Murphy's fitness. He will put in a shift, and if he's knackered after 60, 65 minutes, then Eddie will change it and bring on a fresh Anthony Gordon like he did against Manchester United. And Gordon made a big difference when he came on. So I think he'll do that again. Fuggy says, hi from sunny South Shields. Sunny. Good evening, Ian. Hope you're well. I Like Coffee says, I predicted Wilson would start too. Levi says, I lost my job today for threatening to punch me boss's lips off. So a win today would cheer me up. Very interesting, Levi. Lee says, Wilson got a good record against West Ham. Isak be great to bring on if it's 0-0 around 60 minutes. Yep. Brian, good evening to you. Surprised at Wilson starting, but not J7. Yeah, look, I think Willock was. I don't think Eddie would ever take a risk on Joe Willock because he knows what a great player he is for us. And the fact of the matter is, he's not going to risk him if he's got a slight muscle niggle to start him. Yeah, get himself warmed up, get him onto the bench, and he'll be fine. Peter, yep, thank you. I've done that, matey. Alvin says, hey, Paul, hope all is well. I've been away for a bit, but been watching the replays. Looking forward to a nice win today. Thanks, Alvin. Sean says, yeah, using the good old VPN to stream the game. Oh, well, I'm not. I normally don't. I had it switched on, and I shouldn't have really because I never have the VPN switched on. So it's off now. So there you go. I normally don't even put it on. I don't know why I had it on in the first place, to be honest. Get used to players getting 60 to 30-minute games. Apart from giving a rest to our players, the young'uns will be blooded and developed. Mary says, I'm looking forward to this. Irish Toon says, interesting lineup. Eddie knows best. Great to have the depth to rest Isak and Willock and use them if needed. Yeah, just as I was saying before, it's very important that we've got that depth now. Players are fit and on the bench, are raring to go. You can bet your bottom dollar that Isak will understand. I'm sure Eddie's had a conversation with him. And if he's needed to come on, then he's needed. Hopefully, we get 90 minutes out of Callum and we're 4-0 up or something like that, and Isak can have a good rest. But we'll see. The Battle of the Bros, of course, Bruno against Paqueta, and of course you've got the best mates in Antonio and Wilson. Now they won't have a lot to do together on the pitch, obviously, because they're both strikers at the opposite ends of the pitch. However, Bruno and Paqueta is the one I think that we are all looking forward to seeing what happens with that one. Personally, I think given what's happened, we have the better player. Paqueta hasn't taken to the Premier League as well as Bruno has. There's no doubt about that. That's not saying that Paqueta is a bad player or, you know, anything like that. I mean, he scored against us, didn't he, up at St. James's? That's not to say that he's a bad one. But look, Bruno he's got it from the word go. Eddie was very good with him, not putting him straight in. He bled him in and he's never looked back. And Bruno's turned into an absolutely incredible midfielder for Newcastle United. And long may that continue. Sophia, I wish I was in the Bahamas. Unfortunately, I'm not. We need to be ruthless in front of goal. If we take our chances, we should be demolishing teams. Yeah, I mean, look, demolishing teams is something that's very interesting, isn't it? Because everybody's saying that we should have possibly scored 4 or 5 against the Manx on Sunday. Sean Longstaff had a couple of opportunities. Joe Willock did. Joelinton did. You know, we could have scored lots of goals. Man United didn't really threaten to score. You know, the couple that Nick Pope had to save were like back passes. So for me, again, I agree. Hopefully, it will be an opportunity somebody will get a spanking shortly. There's no doubt in my mind. Ian Fleming, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says going for a 2-0 and a 3rd place finish in the Premier League. That would be absolutely awesome. Geordie Lad says West Ham will probably come out as they are at home, so we are going to have to be ready to counter that. We've got to keep the momentum going, no let up. Clarky says, I reckon Ben Rama will be the one to watch for West Ham. Yeah, don't discount Bourne out of this, though, because obviously, you know, Jared Bourne, there was a past story, of course, with him in Newcastle United. He was apparently in a service station ready to sign for us, and it fell through. So don't rule out Bourne because he's a tremendous player if he's on his game. Antonio hasn't had a great season, but look, he knows where the net is. And as long as we stay strong, which we know we've got a very strong back 4, including a goalkeeper, so a back 5, we should be okay. You know, if we keep them out like we did against Manchester United, we will win the game. I am sure of it. Troll says, well, tonight we'll see if Wilson really is back. Absolutely. Elliot Anderson is going to be a worldie. Yeah, I want to see him play more. I really want to see him play a little bit more. And because when he came on against Nottingham Forest, he was absolutely fantastic. And of course, only denied a first Newcastle United goal by an absolute pleb of a referee in VAR. So, yeah, the mindset of the players is as good as it can be. They will win. Yeah, I mean, there's another thing that the Man United fans didn't quite understand was when Sky obviously put out the team talk that Eddie Howe had with the players in the dressing room after the game. Now, this happens with any football team. You know, you go in after the match, the manager will speak to you, whether it's good or bad, you know, whether you've been tonked or whether you win. And all Eddie was saying was, you know, now the confidence is right up. You know, we should be going out with bags of confidence every game. And he's not wrong. But, of course, the Man United fans are that plastic. They don't know what a manager's job is. So, you know, we all took a bit of a stick for that. Yet the saltiness is incredible. Finn says, I'm back in 3-0. Wilson, Brace and Gordon off the bench. I'd cope with that. Jenny says 3-1 to the Geordies. Carl says, hey, all Moyes plays very defensive, but we will open them up 2-0. I'm thinking, well, yeah, I mean, Alex said that on the show last night that, you know, when I said that I expect West Ham to come out flying, but he said, no, they may just be a very, coy when they start the game, because that's how David Moyes plays. He's a very defensive manager. Now, some will say that that's dinosaur tactics, etc. Certainly, I don't think it's worked for West Ham this season. And that probably shows that they can't get out of the rut that they're in. And they're stuck in it at the moment. So they're having a little bit of problem trying to sort of get the attacking football back. And that's been a problem for them in recent games. But as Alex showed on the stats last night, they have picked up results. Whether they've been playing well or not, they've picked up results. We need to play well, get the result. Not go home, because they're still in London, of course. But there you are. V says, I thought Maxi would have been rested for the young Everton lad. Billy Boy says, anyone please tell me what's up with Matt Targett? Is it injuries? No, he's fit now, but obviously he's, he can't get ahead of Dan Burn. And, whether you agree with Dan Burn being at left back or not, he has done nothing wrong at left back for Eddie Howe. And that is why he is in that position. He looked a lot fitter and a lot fresher on Sunday, did Dan Burn, and played a good game. So there's no way he was going to drop him for tonight. Simon Jordan actually had some nice things to say about the club recently. He did, but he's like a roller coaster, Simon Jordan. You just know, you don't know what he's going to come out with sometimes. Good home record of late, West Ham. Yeah, they have, Davey, no doubt about that. Martin says, no spoilers, please. Don't spoil it for people who can't watch the match. Indeed, if you're new to the channel, the likelihood is I won't be on the same time as Sky. So please, 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 no spoilers in the chat. I'll say this once and once only. If you do put spoilers in, the mods will remove you straight away. Some people can't watch the match and just like listening to this commentary. So if you're putting spoilers in the chat, it spoils it for all of us. If you want to be synced up with me, of course, modern day TV now these days, if you're going to kick off before I'm there, just hit pause on your TV. I will then say, right, we're underway when my stream starts. So we're all in sync and we can all watch it together. But if you do prefer just being ahead, don't put anything in the chat until I've commented on it. Once you've heard me commentate on it, then we can talk about it. Most of the time, everyone is brilliant with that. There is the odd Muppet comes in sometimes and tries and spoil it, but that odd Muppet will be simply kicked off the channel. So please don't do it and just enjoy the stream with everybody else. If you are watching it on Sky, of course, knock the commentary off and watch it on there and listen to the commentary on here. Rich says, hey, Paul, I'm all moved now to Milton Keynes and getting settled. I'm listening tonight. 3-1 win for us. Rich, that's great news, matey. And I hope life is good once you're settled in there. Ab says, I think this will be a really tough game, but expect us to edge it. It will be tough. It will be tough, but we've got to be the tougher team here. We've got to show everybody that we are up for the fight. That's the main thing. There will be a lot of teams around us thinking, oh, it's Newcastle. They'll sort of die off and fall away. We've got to prove that we're not going to do that, that we are the real deal. Lisa's evening, Paul, come on the Toon. Davo says, I understand resting Isak, but if we don't score before 60 minutes, then I want to see him straight on. I think he will come on if the game's really tight and close. There's no doubt in my mind. The new Willoquinho chant is a bit shit. I didn't hear it on Sunday, actually. Wilson has a good record against the Hammers. He will be wanting to take his chance tonight. Indeed he will. Indeed he will. Tony Tynebridge, good evening to you. Rachel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We are so close to 18K. We are indeed. And a few have already hit the subscribe button tonight. But don't forget that like button, guys. And of course, you can donate to the channel by hitting that $sign at the bottom of the live comments as well, if you so wish. Ricky says, Martinez owns Wilson, I hate to say, and that's why he shouldn't have started in the final. Look, we can't look back at the final. It's gone. It's gone. You're as good as your last game as far as I'm concerned, and that was a fabulous win against Manchester United. I would rather a competitive 2-1 win so as not to be too confident for the weekend. Yeah, but, there's nothing wrong with getting the confidence right up and revved up for what's left of the season. That's where I think Eddie wants the players to be. He wants them to be confident, 100% confident, and very, very confident again of their own abilities and say to the players, look, you guys are good enough to finish top 4. And, at the moment, we are in a race for 3rd or 4th place in the Premier League. It's not just 4th place up for grabs here. It's 3rd, which would be a truly incredible finish. And for me, if we finish 3rd or 4th, Eddie Howe simply has to be manager of the year. He has to be. We haven't spent anywhere near the money that some of the other teams have. For all fans come at us saying, oh, yeah, you've got the oil money, blah, blah, blah. It's a load of bollocks because, quite frankly, we haven't spent anywhere near as much as some of the other top teams have. But it is what it is. We're always going to have that problem, guys, aren't we? Unfortunately, it's just the way some of the salty fans are with us, to be honest. But hey-ho, I don't give a toss. All I care about is my team. I'm just seeing the team lineups coming onto the screen now. So we're not far away from kickoff, guys. But like I say, if you do want to pause and be alongside me, then please do just hit the pause button if you haven't seen or haven't heard me say, right, we're underway. And then obviously I'll say that as soon as it kicks off on my screen and we will all be in sync. Twang Barfly says, hi, Paul. Nice to see you in good form. My wife is pleased to see you back after your time out and waved at you on the screen. I thought I'd better tell you in case you missed that. Good evening. There you go. Now we're just seeing Declan Rice now. It looks like a full house at the London Stadium. A lot of people are saying, let's hope Maxi gets one tonight. Yeah, look, Maxi played so well the other day against Manchester United, and we really went at them, and it was great to see. It was one of those games. Jay Devlin, thank you very much for your £2 super chat. That's very kind. Hammer's previews earlier were expecting to lose. Yeah, I watched a few actually this afternoon doing their match previews, and I have to say there wasn't a great deal of confidence around the West Ham fans, which I found very interesting. They really weren't confident going into this game. So, listen, West Ham know what they've got to do. They will be well drilled for tonight. We have to nullify that straight away. We have to start well. We have to just nullify the crowd as well and create chances. The more chances we create, then we're going to score a few as well. And that's what it's all about for me. Newcastle just giving everybody high fives, getting into the huddles. Ian Fleming, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says, did you read Gary Neville's comment that Newcastle's midfield should not outplay Man United? Well, I mean, on paper, I guess he's got a point. But look, I think that's what Newcastle are doing this season. They're surprising a lot of people with the way they play and their intensity as well. Gary Neville has been very complimentary about us, to be honest. So I'm not really going to have a dig at Gary Neville because he made that comment about the atmosphere and things like that on Sunday. He said it was the greatest he'd ever heard in 11 years of commentating with Sky. So there you go. Right, we're about to start, guys. West Ham are kicking off the game. They will be going from left to right, attacking the away end. We are away. So here we go. If you are in sync with me, then as I say, we are now underway. They've pulled the kickoff back actually and took it again and a third time. So we're not actually properly underway here. So I'm about 15 seconds ahead of what the game normally would be. Crazy that. I've never seen that before. 3 kickoffs and finally we're underway. And immediately Antonio tries a little flick on there, which didn't quite come off. And it's going to be a Newcastle throw-in, who are in the black and white stripes tonight with black shorts and white socks. The good old black and white. I'm pleased we're not in the green and white because we've really struggled in that shirt this season. Fabian Schär brings it up to the halfway line, plays a long ball out to the left looking for St. Maximin. It did bounce off the West Ham defender's hand there, but now Jared Bowen having a run at Dan Burn. Dan Burn stride for stride at the moment, but he can't get a tackle in. Bowen's going all the way to the byline here, cuts it back, and it's hit the post, and it was almost an own goal by Bruno. He slid into clear, long shot fired over the bar. And that is a scare very, very early doors for Newcastle United as the shot flies over from Declan Rice. But there is the pace from Jared Bowen already seen. And he got right down, cut it across. Bruno dived in to clear it. And it came back off the post. A massive let-off for Newcastle. And then Declan Rice fired high over the bar. Bruno tries to cut the cross out. He does, but but unfortunately got his studs on it, and it hits the bottom of the post and bounces away. That could have been a really good start for West Ham United. And a warning there to Dan Burn that Bourne is going to run at him. That is clear. He went from the halfway line there all the way past Burn. That was a scary moment. Bit of head tennis going on now. And Benrahma has it for West Ham. Played into Antonio now, who has a run at Kieran Trippier. Gets by him. Going at Fabian Schär. He doesn't get by Trippier. That's a very, very poor pass. Souček intercepts it. Rice to Paqueta. Paqueta now plays it back to Zuma. And West Ham now are just going to knock this back. And it's now played forward, just over the halfway line. Trippier with a header. Fast-paced start to this game, certainly from the home side here. Benrahma. Declan Rice now plays it all the way back, and that will go back to Fabianski in the West Ham goal. Closed down very quickly by Callum Wilson. Fabianski launches it. Dan Burn is underneath it. Burn brings it down on his chest. Jared Bourne trying to knock him off the ball, but he gets it back to Sven Botman. Botman into Bruno. Bruno to Botman, and he goes to Fabian Schär, who's in a little bit of space now, and probably just want to slow it down a little bit here because Newcastle been on the rack a little bit in the opening moments of this game, but here's Dan Burn now for Newcastle, who will just want to get a bit of possession and a bit of keep ball. But Dan Burn's pass is a shocker. And West Ham break again now with Benrahma. He's got Antonio to the left of him. Newcastle closing them down, but Benrahma's gone through all of them. And Fabian Schär, last-ditch tackle there, comes to Antonio. Antonio puts a cross in, deflected out by Kieran Trippier for a corner. And this is not a good start from Newcastle United at all. Very, very poor pass there from Dan Burn. Simple short pass looking for Joelinton. It was nowhere near him. And that started a West Ham counter-attack very, very quickly, which it looks like they are up for tonight without a shadow of a doubt. Very quick start to this game. But it's a corner now again to the Hammers. Played it short. Benrahma on the edge of the box now. Tried to play a right foot crossing. It was blocked by St. Maximin. Brought down by Jacob Murphy. Plays it out to the right now to Maxi. Maxi cuts in field. Looking for an out and doesn't get it. Paqueta intercepts. The passing is all over from Newcastle early doors here. And here again come West Ham. Another shot. And that goes wide of the post from Jared Bourne. We need to get a grip on this game here. Mods, can we get rid of that exiled Mackham? Absolute donkey knob. Get off the stream. Yeah, so not a great start this by Newcastle. We need to really get our heads out of our arses, quite frankly, in these opening 5 minutes. Dan Burn now. He's got Jared Bourne all over him again, and Dan Burn sloppily loses the ball again. He's had a dreadful start to this game, Dan Burn. I don't know what he was doing there. Just play the easy pass. And instead, he's trying to fart on with the ball. Maxi in conversation with Eddie Howe there, and looks quite a heated one. But Newcastle certainly are not impressed. I wouldn't have thought Eddie Howe was impressed with this start, but a great ball, that over to Trippier on the right-hand side. Now into Murphy. This is the first time we can attack in the game. Murphy just spins, gives himself that extra little bit of space. He's got Bruno in support. He's got Paqueta all over him, but he finds Trippier. Bruno then makes a march forward. Trippier goes long to the left. It's under hit, but we're going to get a corner. That was a poor header by Kehrer, and it's gone out for a corner. He tried to nod it back to Fabianski, but it was nowhere near the West Ham goalkeeper, and Newcastle now get their first corner of the game. It's been a very, very, very quick first 5 minutes of this game. Very fast-paced. We've started very poorly, but now we have a corner. And you know what? Kehrer, the right back, he's one to get at for me. We should be getting the ball to Maxi as many times as we can and get in there and really cause them a problem. Because Maxi is the type of player that can give Kehrer nightmares. But Trippier's going to take this corner kick for Newcastle United. Still goalless here in the first 5 minutes. In comes the corner from Trippier to the back post. It's a good header away. But we pick it up, and it's St. Maximin now on the right-hand side. Cuts in on his left, plays a cross in, and it's in the net, and it's Callum Wilson, and it's a brilliant header, and Newcastle United have wiped out the poor start, and Callum Wilson, who is best mates with the West Ham striker Antonio, nods it home. A brilliant ball in from Maxi, and Callum Wilson could not miss. He simply could not miss. And the Toon are 1-0 up in 6 minutes. In comes the corner. It was headed away quite well, to be honest. It comes out to Maxi on the right-hand side. Maxi does really well. Cuts inside Ben Rama. Thinks, right, I'll float it in. Wilson completely unmarked and justifies his start by nodding it into the corner. And it's West Ham 0, Newcastle United 1 already. They have simply wiped out the poor start, and they've got themselves the opening goal of the game, which won't show on my scoreboard. There it goes. We are 1-0 up. I'm just seeing the goal again. Lovely header by Callum Wilson, and he has justified that start already, guys. Brilliant. And the thing is, it's a dreadful start for Newcastle. Let's be honest, the first 5 minutes, horrible. West Ham could have scored. An own goal by, of course, Bruno off the post. But then our first attack of the game, we win a corner, and it causes all sorts of problems. Maxi, simply brilliant ball in, and he, again, gets yet another assist. Brilliant stuff. And, you know, great credit to Maxi there, because he could have cut across the 18-yard line and had a shot. He didn't. He looked up, he saw Wilson, and boy, oh boy, did he pick Wilson out. But now Declan Rice flying forward through the middle for West Ham, out wide to Ben Rama. Ben Rama goes up against Trippier. Trippier staying very tight to him. It's deflected, and Nick Pope has to just edge it away. It looked like it was looping over his head, and that's going to go out for a Newcastle throw-in. West Ham claiming there was a trip by Dan Burn there. Never in a month of bloody sunshine. Kera going really, well, very deep for a right back there. Furthest player forward for West Ham, but unfortunately, he doesn't win the free kick. David Moyes has got a facial expression that, well, I can only describe as worried. But there's a long way to go yet, guys. And West Ham, again, sloppy from Sean Longstaff this time. We lose the ball again. We can't be giving the ball away like this too many times, guys, or we are going to be punished. Trippier now into Sean Longstaff. Longstaff with a bit of time. This rolls it back to Kieran Trippier. Trippier into Bruno now. Bruno has Paqueta on him again, but finds Jacob Murphy out on the right. Murphy now cuts inside. Maxi and acres of space on the left. He finds him. Great ball from Murphy. Now, Maxi Runacare plays it into Joelinton. Joelinton across. Deflected. It comes back to Maxi. Maxi flicks it back in. Declan Rice heads it away this time. Trippier now wins it. Brilliant tackle from Trippier. Plays it out to Maxi again, who's looked unbelievable already in this game. Goes to the byline now. He's round Kera. Cross comes in. Just too high for Callum Wilson. My goodness me. Brilliant stuff again from St. Maximan. And Newcastle United now dominating this game. Longstaff, Trippier. But there's a West Ham player down. The referee has blown his whistle. And he's going to bring the player back. I don't think there was a foul in there. Antonio's gone down clutching his face. It was a heavy tackle by Fabian Schär, but I don't certainly think there was anything in it. We're just seeing it again. No, he puts his arm across to win the ball. He does catch Antonio, to be fair, but it's not. You wouldn't say there's anything violent in that. It's just a challenge for the ball. Painful, yes, for Antonio. Well, they've shook hands, so it looks all right. Yeah, that's nice sportsmanship from both players there. That's really nice to see. I think he's brought it back for a free kick to West Ham. I'm not sure. At the moment, the camera's just... Yeah, we've got the ball back from West Ham. That's really good of them. So nice to see that. And players underway again now with Trippier. Trippier down the line, looking for the run of Sean Longstaff this time. And it's belted away high into the London sky. And again, Antonio and Fabian Schär. Oh, that's Joelinton losing the ball again. Longstaff wins it back. Our midfielders need to be at it. We're not at it in the midfield. We've given the ball away a few times already. Nice play by Dan Burn, though. Now, Burn again. He's got Maxi to his left. He goes inside for Joelinton. It's a shocking ball again from Dan Burn. He's having a stinking start to this game. George T, thank you very much for your £5 super chat, my man. And it's now Sven Botman with the ball for Newcastle United. He left-footed up towards Callum Wilson. Brings it down nicely. Finds Bruno. Bruno goes out wide for Trippier. Into the West Ham half we go again. Jacob Murphy now. Into Bruno. Bruno just taking his time, having a look what's available. Rolls it to Trippier. Paqueta's playing very, very closely to Bruno, I have to say, so far in this game. Bruno, nice little ball in. And he's given a foul on Jacob Murphy there. And he did stick a leg out, but... I think he caught Ben Rama first before he got the ball. and the referee has given a free kick to West Ham. If you've just joined us, 11 minutes gone in this game. It's West Ham United 0, Newcastle 1. Callum Wilson in 6 minutes. Brilliant header from a superb ball in from Maxi. Well, after a poor start, it has to be said. However, that is now all forgotten about, and hopefully we can get our act together, because some of the passing, mainly from Dan Burn today, has been awful. He's on the ball now for Newcastle, rolls it into Maxi. Maxi does really well to beat Jared Bowen and clips it back to Sven Botman. Botman now, he's got Cher in support and uses him. Antonio closing Fabian Cher down, so Cher just goes back across to Sven Botman. Yeah, Sean says only sloppiness will lose us this game. I agree. It has been sloppy, to be fair, but we've got the goal, and that is huge. And a very good goal it was as well, guys. I mean, let's not take anything away. We've survived that first 5 minutes where we were pounded by West Ham. And suddenly, well, Joelinton's through, and he's tucked it in. I imagine the flag will go up at some point. Indeed, it does. I mean, Jesus Christ. We'll see it again, but he looked miles offside, to be fair. Took the goal really well, but I think even Joelinton knows he was like 60 yards offside there. He makes the run. Yeah. Oh, now then. I don't think he is offside. I think this could be another goal for Newcastle. The linesman's put his flag up, but this is not offside. And I think people that are watching this game may just agree with me here. That's onside. The left back for West Ham is playing Joelinton on. I am convinced of it, guys. I am convinced this is onside. Look, I'm seeing a still of it now. Joelinton is onside here. Put the lines across, Sunshine. That is a goal. This is a goal. I am convinced this is 2-0. The West Ham left back is playing Joelinton onside. I will be astounded if this is disallowed for offside. This is on. I don't know what the commentators are saying on the TV, guys, but from my point of view, the line is drawn. Joelinton is onside. This is 2-0. He's onside. It's a brilliant run from Joelinton. It is a superb run. And it's a goal! It had to be! What a run from Big Joe! And we are 2-0 up in 15 minutes! It could not be a better start for the Toon! I thought he was miles offside, but as soon as I saw the replay, guys, it was clear that Joelinton had timed that to absolute perfection. And what a ball from Fabian Cher, by the way. Brilliant! And Joelinton took it superbly well onto his left peg in the back of the net. We are 2-0 up. A bizarre start to this game. Absolutely bizarre. But a wonderful one. 2-0 to Toon. Guys, no spoilers, please. If you do put spoilers in, you're off. You're gone. I'm sorry, but don't spoil it for everybody else. Just be honourable, please. Wait till I've commentated on it and then talk about it. Wow, what a kick in the teeth for West Ham. Do you know what it is? I think everybody that saw that in real time thought, God, he's miles offside. And to be fair, the linesman did as well. But, when I saw the first replay there, I thought, there's no way their left back's playing him on. And when they put the lines across, it's never in doubt. Never in doubt. 15 minutes gone, 2-0 to Newcastle United. Fabian Cher brings it down really well. Rolls it. Thanks, George, for another £5 super chat, my man. Jacob Murphy on the right-hand side now. Plays it into Longstaff. A lovely move, and Longstaff wins the corner for Newcastle. He tried a little back heel there to try and bring Wilson in. But it was good defending. Really good defending. But West Ham, I mean, from their very, very good start to the game, have been hit by an absolute hammer blow. 2 wonderful goals. Really, really good goals. It's going to be Trippier with the corner for Newcastle United. In it comes, this time to the 6-yard box. It is met by a Newcastle head, but not enough on it to direct it at goal. It was just glanced Long ball up the field. Great defending from Jacob Murphy, the last man forward. Oh, beautiful back heel by Maxi to Bruno. Bruno now cuts in field. Just rolls it back now to Longstaff. Newcastle in complete control now of this football match. They've quietened the crowd. They've done what they had to do. And they are turning on the style at the moment. They're just knocking it around confidently. Fabian Schär for Newcastle. Rolls it into Wilson. Murphy. Murphy does well there. And he's pushing the West Ham defender all the way back. And that goes out for a goal kick to West Ham. Brilliant stuff from Jacob Murphy there. Closing the West Ham defender down. And they're at the moment have been hit by an absolute whirlwind. An absolute whirlwind. Incredible how far that Joelinton was actually onside when you saw the replay. He was miles onside and timed it absolutely brilliantly. George Hayes, thank you very much for your $50 super chat. That is so kind, my friend. Big donator to the channel is George. Thank you. He says it's a canny game so far. It certainly is. And at the moment, do West Ham have any answer to this? They're on the attack here, but good defending by Trippier. Gets it back to Nick Pope. Declan Rice brings it down for West Ham. He has to go back. And Paqueta now trying to play a ball. He's just kicked it straight out of play. That's not great from Paqueta. I think Sean Long, the referee's gone over to Sean Long, so I'm not sure whether he's got a little bang on the face there, but play's gone on again. Ab says, what a team we've become. Incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And look, West Ham's confidence is flat as a, flat as, well, I don't know, a flat tire, I guess. But they will be struggling. They will be struggling their confidence now if they're being hit by 2 goals. And let's face it, we could get more. That's a brilliant ball for Bruno. And now Maxi again cutting inside. Rolls it into Joelinton in the box. He leaves it. Dan Burn on an overlap. And wins a corner, does he? Yes, he does. Kerr is infuriated with the referee for giving that one. But, hey, I don't give a shit. It's a corner. Just seeing a replay of it now. Yeah, I think it was a corner, actually. So I'm not gonna argue with that. Nice one, referee. Despite Kira's disgust, Kieran Trippier will take another corner for Newcastle United. You know what it is? Yeah, Levi, as flat as your boss's lips, mate. Yeah. You know what it is? I think if we can get a third, it'd just be unreal. Nothing comes from the corner. It's headed away, but it will be a throw in to Newcastle midway through the West Ham half. But, of course, Newcastle will be in no hurry to speed anything up right now. Hopefully we game manage the shit out of this for the rest of this match. But we'll have to see. West Ham won't give up. I really don't think that that's in their mentality. Some of these players have a lot of pride, but at the minute that pride has been sucked out of them as Dan Burn wins the throw into Newcastle, getting a bit penned in their own area there. So far, the 2 changes that Eddie's made have both scored. So I think hats off to the manager. Joelinton dragged down from behind, nothing given. It's with Declan Rice now, midway through the Newcastle half. Plays it out to the left. There isn't much support there. He has to go back to Declan Rice. And again, they're playing it backwards. And I don't think the West Ham fans will particularly like this. I think this is going all the way back to the goalkeeper again. Indeed, it is. Great pressing from Newcastle United again. The intensity is there. They're settled right into this game now. Dan Burn heads it on. He's had a stinker so far. Out of all the Newcastle players, he's given the ball away about 10 times already. Really poor from Big Dan Burn. He needs to improve. Despite the fact we're 2-0 up, by the way, he's given the ball away too many times. Well, I'm sure I'm just seeing somebody off who used to present 3-2-1 Dusty Bin. I can't remember his name, but I'm sure he's in the West Ham crowd there. But here comes Sean Longstaff bursting over the halfway line again for Newcastle. Jacob Murphy cuts inside, trying to bring the defender away. So Sean keeps going. He'll have Trippier as backup here. Yes, he does. Trippier now. Beautiful ball out to the left again, looking for Maxi, but that's a good defensive header by Kera. And that's a foul by Dan Burn, I think. And Bourne goes down. It's a free kick to West Ham United. So 20 minutes gone, guys. West Ham 0, Newcastle 2 at the London Stadium. A brilliant header by Callum Wilson on 6 minutes to give us the lead. And then Joelinton, wonderful bit of play to stay on side. I'm just seeing the first goal again. Maxi does Benrahma like he's not there, and it's a brilliant header from Callum. It's one of those that you know Callum can put away. Ted Rogers, that's the dude. Thank you very much, Mickey the Mag. You know, it's one of those chances that Callum Wilson will swallow up. And I'm just seeing the Joelinton goal again. He's miles on side, guys. I can't believe that I even thought for 1 second he was off. Unreal. I think everybody in the ground actually thought he was offside, to be fair. Declan Rice brings it down. It's a poor touch, which has forced him very wide. He's had to go backwards. He will not be enjoying this at all. Paqueta back to Declan Rice now. Rice, head up, long ball across to Kera. He's got Dan Byrne coming in on him. Byrne, I don't think, won the header, but kind of put Kera off. Here's Paqueta for West Ham. Skips past Bruno. Good bit of play by Paqueta. Brilliant interception by Fabian Schär. The ball was going to Antonio. Schär then has launched one up the field. I think, was he trying to score there? I really don't think so. He was looking for Maxi, I think, but slightly mishit the ball because Maxi was in acres of space. And Antonio brought down by Fabian Schär again, and I think the referee's going to bring this one back. Fabian Schär may be lucky to get away with a booking here. But it was a great bit of play by Paqueta there to just sort of dipsy-doodle around Bruno then. Bruno, I think, had a thought about bringing him down, but then thought better and just got on with it. And then, obviously, Fabian Schär went and made a brilliant, brilliant interception. Michael Marsden, thank you very much for your £20 super chat, and lovely to see you back, Michael. Really lovely to see you back, and I hope you're doing a bit better, my friend. Cross comes in from West Ham. It's, well, an opportunity there at the back post, and it didn't land too well. Botman puts a left foot through it and gets it clear. Callum Wilson's going after this. Declan Rice, the last man back for West Ham, does really well. Thank you so much, Michael. Give me a ring tomorrow, mate. Give me a ring tomorrow. We'll have a bit of a catch-up, but thank you very much for that £20. Bruno is on the ball for Newcastle. Rolls it into Joelinton. Joelinton, no hurry at all. Plays it out to Kieran Trippier now. Trippier inside to Bruno. Bruno, he's got Paqueta marking him. He just says, right, I'll go back to Kieran Trippier. Back to Bruno. Nice little bit of 1-2 football between the Newcastle players here. Now Longstaff. And West Ham, I mean, they're not exactly pressing us, to be fair. And this can't be going down too well with the supporters, to be honest. It really can't. I mean, the fact that the intensity that Newcastle showed to get the ball back is not there with West Ham at all at the minute. Long ball by Fabian Schär doesn't really go anywhere. Guys, no all caps. The mods have tried to do the best just to keep this chat nice and peaceful. Please, no all caps in the chat. It's one of the rules on the channel, so please just abide by it. Here's Jared Bourne now. Cuts inside, level with the penalty area for West Ham. Has to go back again to Declan Rice. Into Paqueta. Paqueta's got Wilson for company. But look at the pressing from Newcastle. They don't give West Ham a second on the ball. It really is brilliant to watch. West Ham trying to do something on the left-hand side. Nothing comes of it. Jacob Murphy getting stuck into Benrahma there. Benrahma, nice little back heel to Paqueta. Inside now, Bourne, a nice little touch. Antonio, but Newcastle just swamping the West Ham players. Out wide now to Kera, the right back. Maxi's back helping out. Kera lofts one into the penalty area. It's high. Trippier kept an eye on it all the way and finds Jacob Murphy with the defensive header. Murphy looking for an out. Skips brilliantly. He's away. Jacob Murphy now looking for help. He's actually gone to chip the goalkeeper from the halfway line. Newcastle couldn't break out quick enough. Murphy was like a Jack Russell in heat there. Unbelievable. Brilliant stuff from Jacob Murphy. 25 minutes gone, still 2-0 to the Toon. West Ham trying desperately to get back in this game. And that's a push, says the referee. And it's going to be a free kick to West Ham midway through the Newcastle United half. Yeah, a little shove by Sean Longstaff on Emerson there. Emerson goes throwing himself to the ground. As soon as he felt Sean Longstaff's hand on his shoulder, he was down. As Eddie Howe is writing ferociously into his notebook there. Chris Thompson, you know damn well what caps are. Capital letters. Come on. Ab says, cracking game, West Ham are not bad. No, they're not. I mean, they started this game at 1,000 miles an hour, to be honest. It's incredible stuff, but we've got the goals. And listen, I think there's more goals in this. Long free kick. Nick Pope catches it. His holy one says, thank you very much. I will collect the ball and just hang on to it for a few moments just to get everybody reset and back in position again. And he rolls it out to Sven Botman. Botman now in his own penalty area. Again, calm as you like. Just brings it forward. No pressure, but that's an awful ball. That is a stinking ball to Declan Rice, and it's put us in a real dodgy position. We've got to be better than that. And Bruno gives a free kick away. He's not very happy, but that all came about through a dreadful pass by Sven Botman. Awful pass. And it put us under real pressure. Souček's made the best of that to win a free kick, to be honest. But it is going to be a free kick to West Ham right next to the D. Yeah, Bruno's pulling his shirt a little bit, to be fair. And this is a very, very dangerous place to concede a free kick with the players that West Ham do have available to take set pieces. Emerson's over it. Paqueta's over it. Benrahma's over it. So they've got options here, and Newcastle need to get this defensive system correct and get the wall in the right place. This is the first bit of real danger we've seen since probably the first 5 minutes of the game, this, guys. 4 on the wall for Newcastle with, I believe, Bruno lying behind the wall. But they are taking the time over this, West Ham. Paqueta's definitely eyeing this one up. But so could Benrahma. We know Benrahma from his days at Brentford. He can take free kicks, no problem. This is a really good opportunity for West Ham. Who's going to take it? It is going to be Paqueta. Good save. Nick Pope down to his right. It was a comfortable save in the end. He pushes it away for a corner. But we got away with it there. Good free kick from Paqueta, curling into the corner. But Nick Pope read it really well and pushes it away for a corner. And it still remains 2-0 to Newcastle. And to be honest, the West Ham have had their opportunities. They are having a go. Corner comes in. All the way out. It's not the best header from Kieran Trippier, I have to say, but Maxi now and Paqueta going at it. West Ham been on top in the last 5 minutes here. They've got to try and make that count, though, if they want to get back into this. Benrahma deep in his own, near the corner flag. He's got Sean Longstaff for company. And he plays a poor ball, and it ends up at Maxi's feet. Now, Maxi, we know, can run. But Declan Rice comes back and nicks the ball off him. That's poor. Again, we're just losing the ball in silly positions here. Declan Rice, barge in the box. Antonio! And it's over the bar. Is it a corner or a goal kick? Again, we're losing the ball in really, really poor positions here, guys. And this has got to stop because we're losing it in... Well, I thought Antonio was offside there, and that looks like a goal kick, to be honest. For me, that's a goal kick. But he's given a corner. He looked offside as well. In comes the corner again. Very close that to Nick Pope. And he gobbles it up brilliantly. He gobbled it up like a Dutch hooker. Brilliant stuff from His Royal Holiness, Highness Pope. Still 2-0, guys. Coming up to half an hour gone. I'm very, very happy with the way this is going at the minute. Pope throws it out to Dan Burn on the left-hand side. He then knocks it back for Sven Botman. Botman back to Nick Pope. Makes me sweat a little bit when we're in this situation, but he's played it out to Shea on the right-hand side, who has a little bit of time into Trippier. But now West Ham have got men forward. Pope, not the greatest ball out at all. That's gone straight out of play. Len Simmons, thank you for your $1.99 super chat. He's his bloody hell, I want half time. Yes, as we all do. That was a terrible goal kick. And we're putting ourselves under an unnecessary pressure by giving the ball away in stupid areas. That needs to be addressed by the manager at halftime. Maxi to Bruno. Bruno skips away from Bowen brilliantly. He's got Trippier out to his right-hand side. Beautiful ball for Kieran Trippier. Now he can have a run down the right. Plays it down to Jacob Murphy. Leaves it for Callum Wilson. Wilson! Oh, good goalkeeping. Brilliant goalkeeping by Fabianski because he had to get his hand there or else Wilson was in for his second. Brilliantly left again by Jacob Murphy. Very good awareness of what was around him there. And that could have easily been 3-0. Another slap in the face for West Ham, who, let's face it, have been on top last few minutes as it goes out for a goal kick. I'm not sure the West Ham were appealing for a penalty. Yeah, not for me. Not for me. Antonio's backing into Sven Botman there, looking for that. It's nowhere near a penalty. I think VAR are looking at it, but nowhere in a million years is that a penalty. Say Cheese, thank you very much for your $4.99 super chat. Really do appreciate that, my friend. David Moyes was appealing for a penalty, but Antonio was clever there. He was sticking his arse into Botman and trying to sort of get Botman to push him over. It was never going to happen. Nick Pope's down at the moment, guys. I'm not sure what the problem is with Nick Pope, but it gives the Eddie Howe barking at his players there. He can't be happy with the way we've given the ball away in the first half. I mean, you know, if anything, that's been the downside of this first half. Despite the fact we're 2-0 up, we've got to say that the passing in the midfield especially hasn't been great, or coming out of defence. We've given the ball away in very, very, very poor positions. But then again, we could have been 3-0 up a minute ago. Fabianski just got his hand to it. Very good goalkeeping, you have to say, because if he got that wrong, it was a penalty. Wilson must have given Murphy a shout because he dummied. It was a terrible defensive touch. And it was good goalkeeping in the end by Fabianski because he had to get it right. Wilson just tried to let the ball roll past Fabianski, but the goalkeeper read it really, really well. And it stays 2-0. Michael, thank you for your renewed membership to the channel, matey. Welcome back. Massive round of applause for Michael Marsden. Back. Great to see him back. Absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much, Michael. And welcome back to Members Club, my friend. As it shows Dubravka warming up there. I'm not sure that the injury to Nick Pope is too serious. I think he's doing a few stretches. We know he had a little niggle against Forest, of course, but played through that. Yeah, Dr. Rockter says Eddie looks like he's really giving it to the players. He does. He's really gone at them there during that little break. So hopefully that rocket up their arse. Because we're 2-0 up, and I think that's what Eddie will be delighted with it, that we're 2-0 up. But we can't be giving the ball away as much as we have. It's been a bit poor. The awareness of where we're losing the ball. Wilson, lovely little play by him, finding Big Joe. Joe goes left now to St. Maximan, who was brilliant early doors, but that's a poor touch. But it goes out for a throw-in. Kera managing to win the ball. Concentration needs to be a little bit better. Oh, Dan Burns just throwing it straight to Bowen. What was he doing there? Luckily, Joelinton wins it back, and then we lose it again. And the referee gives a free kick for a foul on Kera. That is awful from Dan Burn. I mean, he has been shocking, guys. I know we're 2-0 up, but I've got to say how I see it. He's been awful. I mean, I really would love to see how many times he's given that ball away in the first half. It's been awful. Just need to get the focus back again. Just lost our way a little bit. Long ball again. Fabian Schär defends really well. It comes to Paqueta for West Ham. Kera now out to the right to Jared Bowen. Bowen plays it back to Paqueta. Paqueta now trying to find some space. Byrne is there to absolutely leather that away down the pitch. It's still in play. But the referee has blown his whistle. I'm not sure what he's blown for here. Well, threw in, sorry, went out of play. Paqueta now for West Ham, plays a long left-footed ball, and Fabian Schär is there to defend it. Comes to Souček, who really hasn't got himself into the game for West Ham. Now brought away by Bruno for Newcastle United. Bruno, he's looking for help, finds it with Joelinton. Joelinton back to Bruno. Bruno taken out by Souček there, and a free kick given. You can't tackle like that from behind. Longstaff now for Newcastle. Quick free kick taken. Rolls it into Jacob Murphy. Murphy turns into Trippier now. Trippier. Murphy goes on a run down the right-hand side. It's a great run. Murphy on the half volley. Plays it across. It's come to Maxi. Maxi got lost a little bit with where the ball was. And it's out by the touchline now. but he's running. He's having a run. Bruno comes to Joelinton. Joelinton back to Bruno. Bruno will shift it other way to Kieran Trippier. Had an option to Dan Burn, completely ignored him. And now it's with Murphy. Murphy to Bruno again. Into Longstaff. Back to Bruno. Lovely turn by Bruno to get away. What a turn that was. Turn Paqueta inside out. Murphy's ball into the box. He screwed it up and it goes out for a goal kick. Kind of ruined that move there because that was superb. What a turn that was from Bruno. Left Paqueta absolutely standing. But Eddie Howe doesn't look happy. And I can understand why he doesn't look happy. And I'm sure he'll address that at half-time. Trippier's header. And now it comes to Wilson, but he gives it away. It comes to Botman. Botman straight back there to Joelinton. And then Joelinton's kicked it straight out of play. It's got to be better than that. You know, we can't keep giving the ball away like that because we will get punished eventually. It's sloppy. It's really, really sloppy. But judging by the look on Eddie Howe's face, he already knows that anyway. Byrne plays it to Maxi, to Joelinton. Joelinton, lovely touch inside to Bruno, who has had a really good first half for Newcastle. Outside of the foot to Kieran Trippier, who bombs down the right-hand side. Trippier, in comes a cross. He wellied that one in, but no one willing to take a real chance on that. And it goes out for is it a corner? Yeah, I think we've won a corner. I'm not sure what Trippier was doing there. I think he saw Callum Wilson start the sprint. Wilson then stopped. But we've got a corner out of it. So, you know, must have took a nick off somebody. 37.5 minutes gone. Still West Ham 0, Newcastle United 2 at the London Stadium. Goals from Callum Wilson and Big Joe. Be fantastic if we can get a one here. And it comes from Trippier, right to the near post this time. Cleared away. Longstaff is back. Heads it to Murphy. Murphy then on the half volley back into the box towards Callum Wilson. Now Antonio for West Ham. He's going to have a run down the left-hand side. He's got Longstaff for company. Longstaff matching him every inch of the way. But Antonio is big and strong and gets round him. Antonio into Bowen. It's bouncing around in the box and then cleared away. Powerhouse run that from Mikel Antonio. West Ham definitely still keep trying. They're definitely giving it 100%. They're trying, but at the moment, nothing's coming off for them. May long that continue. Bowen at the byline wins the corner for West Ham off Dan Burn. West Ham will want one before half-time. They know that they've got to try and get one by half-time because if Newcastle go 2-0 up at half-time, then, 45 minutes left. It's not looking great for West Ham. Vendetta, please stop the spoilers or you'll be chucked out. Come on, just be decent to other people, please. Corner to West Ham, swung in again. It's close to Nick Pope. He doesn't get there. And West Ham have scored. It's the goal that they needed, and it's Kurt Zouma. Nick Pope, I thought, was very late coming for that. And I'm sorry, that is poor goalkeeping. Very, very disappointed in Nick Pope there. He took an age to go for that ball, and it dipped over his head, and Zouma said, thank you very much, and nodded in the back of the net. Just seeing it again here. Yeah, I mean, Antonio's on Nick Pope. I don't think there's anything wrong there. Nick Pope just didn't get there, and you've got to put that one down to the goalkeeper. It's 2-1, and a really piss-poor time for Newcastle to concede a goal. You have to say, 5 minutes before half-time, letting them back in. Al House said foul on Pope. Not for me. Not for me. Come on. Nick Pope, let's be honest here. Antonio did nothing wrong there. Standing his ground. He's not fouling the goalkeeper. But it's been coming. We can't sit here and say that goal hasn't been coming for West Ham because it has. We've been really, really sloppy. And that is something that Eddie Howe will have to address because we've let West Ham back into this game when they should be nowhere near it. Absolutely nowhere near it. But we do need to regroup. We need to get back in there again. We need to concentrate. disappointing, but, we're still ahead. We're still 2-1 up. So let's just not panic here. Let's just get to half-time, regroup. Because I think we need to, because Eddie needs to address this. West Ham coming to get us again. We need to see this to half-time because we know West Ham will come at us hard up until half-time now. Their tails are up. They'll know they have a chance of getting level. We need to be better. And now it's Callum Wilson breaking for Newcastle United. He's got nobody really up with him. And Declan Rice does really well to win the ball back for West Ham. Superb from Declan Rice. Brilliant. And brings it over the halfway line for West Ham now. Plays it into Bourne, who's got the better of Dan Burn there. Burn manages to get a foot in and nick it off him. Bourne wasn't too happy, but it was definitely a good tackle because he won the ball. Oh, Murphy, that's an awful tackle on Jacob Murphy. And it's a yellow card for Emerson. It was a bad tackle. I mean, Murphy was waiting for the ball to arrive. I think Emerson thought he had every right to go for the ball. But unfortunately, he's took Murphy out, and he's given the free kick and a yellow card. I'll have to have a look at that again, but I think that's very harsh on Emerson. Murphy's waiting for the ball. Emerson, it's a hard tackle. Really hard tackle. But he does go through Jacob Murphy, actually. I think, on that angle I've just seen, it is a yellow card. Good referee in that, actually. Oh, dear. Sort of hanging on a bit now, which I didn't expect us to be doing. If I'm openly honest, that was a heavy touch on a heavy clout on Murphy, to be honest. Joelinton from about 40 yards out scuppers the shot, and it's gone wide. Coming up to 43 minutes gone at West Ham 1, Newcastle 2. Fabian Schär with a good header there to clear it away from the dangerous Bourne. West Ham, I mean, Moyes is urging them on here. They desperately want another one before half-time. It's a very, very hard to make an assessment here. I mean, we're losing the ball, we're sloppy, but we're winning the game. I mean, I don't know what you make of that, guys, but it's bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. And another free kick to West Ham here, fouled by Sven Botman. We're just a bit rattled here, guys. We need half-time. Quick free kick by West Ham. Jared Bourne on the right-hand side. Bourne gets to the byline. Cross comes in, headed away by Kieran Trippier. A good header as well. Paqueta, though, does well, but Maxi's back there defending and nicks the ball away from Paqueta. Good defending by St. Maximan there, and it's now back with Kurt Zuma. Long ball forward from West Ham. Dan Burn is underneath that. It's a terrible header from Burn, and it just rolls out of play. I mean, he's having a stinker. Out of the 11 that are on the pitch, he is by far the biggest stink tonight. So many giveaways, which is very disappointing, actually, given the way Dan Burn actually played on Sunday. Yeah, Abs, you're right. We played brilliant for 10 minutes and totally disjointed the rest of it. Joelinton and Paqueta have clashed on halfway. Paqueta has stayed down. I think Joelinton's going to get booked. No? I think he's just having a word with Big Joe. But Aguerd and Joelinton pulling back to his feet. Just seen a replay here. Well, in fairness, he nicked the ball away, Joelinton there. I don't think there's anything malicious about that at all. Anyway, good interception by Fabian Schär, but we lose the ball again. And, Bourne then takes it on his left foot, and he's dragged that wide. We're into stoppage time now, guys, at the end of the first half. I'm just waiting to see how many of those minutes are added on. 3 minutes. 3 minutes of added on time. But where we're giving the ball away, guys, is really poor, because we're giving the ball away, 30, 35 yards away from our own goal. And that's been a highlight of the first half. We should be doing much, much better than that. And despite the fact we're winning the game, I think we've been a bit lucky that we are still 2-1 up, because we haven't put it together. Long goal kick from Nick Pope. Joelinton underneath it, outclimbed by Souček. Antonio flicks it on, looking for the run of Jared Bourne. It's cleared by Dan Byrne. Paqueta is underneath this, chests it down. Joelinton comes in and nicks the ball up. Brilliant play from Big Joe and sets Bruno away. Bruno down the line to Maxi. Brilliant ball. He's got Wilson in support. Bruno's busting the gut. He comes back to Maxi, trying to bring Bruno into it. He's got a lovely ball across to Jacob Murphy on the far side now. Back to Trippier. Trippier's ball right to the back post. Maximan drops it back. And what did Bruno not hit that for? Or what did Maxi not hit that for? I mean, Maxi was in a position there where he could have took a... I'm confused by that. I have to say, I am very confused that Maxi could have brought that down and lashed it in. But instead, he tried to knock it back to Bruno. I'm not sure whether it was wide of where Bruno was from the angle we were looking at it, but that was... Jesus. That was really, really confusing because we should have at least had a shot there. But we didn't. Anyway, about a minute and a half before the whistle will blow for the end of the first half. And boy, does Eddie Howe need to get into these guys because the passing has been terribly sloppy in most of this first half. Joelinton for Newcastle does well, tries to spin round Souček and wins a free kick. This is actually a good opportunity here to win a... We can play this into the box now and know that if West Ham try and break, then the whistle will blow. I'm just seeing this again. Murphy has a ball. It's swung very deep by Trippier. I do not know what Maxi's doing. He tries to lay it back to Bruno. It's not a great ball, to be honest. Bruno, it's miles away from Bruno. I mean, I was sitting there saying, "Oh, what's Bruno doing?" It was miles away from him. But never mind. We have a free kick in a very, very good position here. It would be nice if we can get a third goal just to calm the lads down going into the dressing room. Trippier plays a quick free kick out to the right way, finds Fabian Schär. Schär then plays it across. Nobody's there. And that goes behind for a goal kick. Not great at all from Fabian Schär, that ball in. But we've only got a few seconds left of the first half. I'm not actually sure what Schär was doing there, whether he was trying to hit that or cross it. But there was no Newcastle player anywhere near it. Anyway, we've got the 3 minutes up. And West Ham are trying to break. Fabian Schär cuts across. That should do it for the first half. Indeed, it is. It is half-time at the London Stadium, and it is West Ham United 1, Newcastle United 2. But my God, I think we're quite lucky to get away with 2-1 at the minute. Very, very poor passing in that first half. Just some of it dreadful. Dan Burns had an absolute mare from the word go. He just hasn't looked good. Now, whether Eddie will be forced into any changes at half-time or whether he gives it 10 minutes, I don't know. But half-time score at the London Stadium is West Ham 1, Newcastle United 2. And we are now joined by Billy Bob Coleman. And, of course, Alex will join us very shortly as well. Billy, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm good, yeah, I'm good. Very good.
First half?
It's been very sloppy, hasn't it? Apart from a 10-minute spell, I think we've been second best most of it. We've been feeding on bits and scraps. We look dangerous when we go forward on the wide side, especially Maxi, but generally it's been pretty poor. I think it's been very sloppy. Lots of balls been given away. Dan Byrne, Longstaff, both been guilty of it. Joelinton's been guilty of it at times. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not been great. And West Ham can actually feel a little bit aggrieved. They're not level, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And I think we had a very good 10-minute spell where we got the 2 goals. Fantastic run from Joelinton to get the second. Everybody thought that was offside until we saw the replay and clearly he was onside. Alex, not great. Even though we're winning, we have to be better than that second half.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's reflected in Eddie Howe being absolutely furious. Yeah. When we were still 2-0 up. And rightly so. He was screaming at them on the sideline. I've never seen him that angry in a game. It was, despite the scoreline flatters us, I think we've been erratic. We've just, I mean, it's fair because there have been games where we should have scored 5 and we've scored 2, like last week, like at the weekend. And now we've probably just been quite fortunate in finishing those chances straight away. But we're just a little bit too erratic. I've seen a few people criticise me for my Byrne comments again, and I feel like Byrne's been poor. I think he's been awful. First half display is my issue with Dan Byrne. He can put in some good performances, and then he can do that. And my whole problem with Maxi and Byrne, I don't think it works with them too. Like, because Maxi doesn't work as hard defensively. It's just part of who he is. He's improving, but and that coupled with Dan Burns' lack of technical ability and speed. But anyway, that's not it. All of the lads, a lot of people have been, maybe bar Bruno's been pretty solid, but everybody else has lost the ball a little bit. Funny clearances, bit erratic. Just, they need to calm down a bit and just play for each other and just focus a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, look, Dan Burn, he has to be better. He has to be better than that. It just, I mean, I think it's into double figures how many times he's actually given the ball away. We had a throw in. He threw it straight to Jared Bowen. I mean, just not good enough. We seem to be losing the ball 30, 35 yards from our own goal. It's very, very sloppy. Like you say, it's erratic. We could have been 1-0 down within a few minutes. Obviously, a cross from Bowen, who totally outdone Dan Burn. The ball came across. Bruno slides in, Billy, and intercepts the ball, but it ends up coming back off the woodwork.
Yeah, it was very close, wasn't it? And it was kind of Dan Burn's half, that wasn't it? All over it. Because Bowen went at him straight away, went past him, got past him in the box. Burns slid, could have even brought him down for a penalty. It was crazy defending, really. Ball came across, and Bruno's doing his best to get back. He gets a foot to it. Luckily, it's hit the post and gone for a corner, but yeah, very shaky start.
Indeed. I think Alex Eddie Howe, judging by his, scribbling a lot into his notebook, he was fuming. You could tell by his face that he's not happy, even though we're winning the game. And I think he's got every right to be. So would you expect him to make changes at halftime, or do you think he'll give them 10-15?
Possibly. He might, because of how erratic it is. As much as I love Maxi, I'd bring Gordon on now, just for solidity. I don't know. Again, I don't know if Eddie Howe
would it be for Maxi or would it be for Murphy? Because Murphy hasn't been.
I'd do Maxi because I think Murphy offers a bit more defensively.
Yeah.
Just for a bit of, not to see the game out, but just to have a bit more control. Because when Maxi's fine when the rest of the team are singing, but behind him's a little bit. It's a little bit off today.
I mean, to be fair to Max, he has done a bit of defending in this game. He has come back quite a few times and made clearances. But
yeah, he's done a few things well and a few things badly. But that's what you get from a player like that. You just need to make sure that the covering centre mid and the fullback are also switched on. And we've not got that luxury today with Burn having a poor game.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
Let's not forget
change Burn or we change Maxi. Those are your two options.
Alex,
so,
Alex, I could not disagree with you any more than what you just said. If we take Maxi off, Tino Kera takes the shit out of his shorts and gets a big smile on his face.
Yeah,
the biggest danger on the side.
I would between the two, actually, Alex. You said there, bring Burn or Maxi off. I would bring Burn off and put my target on.
Well, I just don't think Eddie Howe's ever going to do that. Yeah, I wouldn't take Maxi off. If my heart of hearts, I just wouldn't play Dan Burn. But a lot of people don't like that I say that. So,
well, look, I mean, let's talk about the goal we conceded, because that has to go down to Nick Pope. People are saying in the chat that Antonio fouled him. There wasn't a foul in there.
Lost his man, to be fair.
Yeah, but Antonio stood his man. But Nick Pope he went for it. He missed it. You've got to put that down to the goalkeeper. He missed the ball. He mistimed his jump. He misses the ball, and it drops to Zuma, of all the people to score.
Yeah. I think part of the blame has got to go to Botman for not following his runner.
I agree with that.
Yeah, maybe, but again, you could put it down to one or the other. I mean, I just speaking because,
well, both can be true at the same time. They can both take a bit of fault.
Yeah, I just thought he was late jumping for the ball, and I wasn't really confident that he was going to get it. Botman's looked a bit shaky, to be honest, this first half. He's given the ball away a few times as well. I think 4 times I counted give it away. But listen. The bottom line is we're winning the game. We're 2-1 up. And at this stage of the season, I don't care as long as we get the 3 points. But we have to not give the ball away too much now. And it bodes well that we're playing quite poorly, yet we're still winning the game. We've got to take the positives from that. Again, the positives are that the two players that Eddie Howe's brought in have got both the goals.
Yeah. Everyone people were criticising his opening lineup, but he's been ratified with the 2 goals that we've scored. However, I do think we need to get Wilson off soon and get Isak on, because I don't think he's offered us anything else apart from that goal. If I'm perfectly honest.
Well, he hasn't. But that, I mean, that is Callum, isn't it? I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think Callum a few weeks ago would have missed that header. He would have fluffed it. But you know, it was a very, very good header, and that's what Callum gives us. I think it's plain to see what Isak gives us when he's on the pitch. You can see the differences between the two. Isak does more. I think Isak's better. His touch is better than Callum Wilson's by a long way. He's able to, there's a couple of times that Callum Wilson had the ball and he was running at the West Ham defenders and he lost the ball. Isak doesn't lose the ball. That's the difference between them. He is a good dribbler as well. So he brings a lot more to the table, I think, at the moment than what Callum does. You can understand Wilson playing, though. Isak's had 2 international games, then a game at the weekend. So, with 3 games in a week, mixing it up a little bit. But it certainly I wouldn't be aggrieved to see Isak coming on. But it's when Eddie Howe makes these substitutions, Billy, because we know in past times that he's waited a bit too long. He's got them right in the last few games. We have to say that. But this is, the pressure's on him as well now to make sure that this team comes through this with the 3 points.
10, 15 minutes, I imagine. And if it still goes the same way as it is now, with us giving the ball away sloppily, I think he'll make changes then. But I think I'll go out the same 11, unless there's injuries, of course. We don't know that. I mean, Nick Pope was down with an injury, wasn't he?
I think, to be honest, Nick Pope's been carrying an injury for a while now. Given that Eddie said that he was carrying a little knock before the Forest game, and of course he went down against Manchester United, remember, for treatment. He's done it again here.
He pulled out of the England squad as well.
Indeed. So, is Nick Pope fully fit? Probably not, if we're being openly honest. But I mean, Alex, where do you see the second half going? What do you think you'll see?
Well, I'd imagine we'd be a lot more cautious in the first 10 to 15 minutes and try and protect the ball a bit more and try and regain a bit of control. I can imagine Eddie Howe's probably gone absolutely ballistic at halftime, judging by how he was on the sidelines. We need them to do a lot better. And I would imagine we're going to have some substitutions between 55 and 65 minutes. Some games he waits a lot later until closer to 80. But I think this is going to require, 30, 35 minutes of Gordon and Isak, just a little bit more energy just to keep things going. Again, it depends if any goals go in the first 10 or 15 minutes after, we resume. So it's going to be a play it by ear. As long as they do what they've been told at half time and be careful, we'll have to see.
Billy, it's a real twat to give away a goal 5 minutes before the break. I mean, but it was coming. We could see it coming because West Ham were, ramping up the pressure. There was times in that first half where I thought, wow, West Ham, they're out of ideas here. They can't get through us. They were having to back pass it a lot. It was going back to Fabianski, but then, a few minutes before the goal is starting to build again, and it's a kick in the teeth when you can see the goal that late in half.
I think the key is to stop Declan Rice, because he's the man again. He's been their best player by country mile. He's run everything good they've done. Everything starts from him. He's a proper captain, that lad. They can kind of quieten him down a bit. I think we'll be okay. I think we have to get a bit more compact in the middle of the park. I don't think Longstaff drifting wide works. I think he needs to stay in a special position for the first 10 minutes, a set position. Yeah. And just solid it up for 10 minutes. And then if we can bring subs on, then go and score a few more goals.
Yeah, I'd like to think that Eddie's read the riot act in there at half time, and things will change. And we'll see that difference immediately as the second half kicks off. But substitutions will be, I think, very important in this game. And I'm certainly interested to see who Eddie goes with first, because will he go with the striker? Will he go with one of the wingers? Certainly something needs to be done, because I would be more worried about our left back at the minute. I think, the left back, we are not playing well. He's given the ball away numerous times, and that is causing us a lot of problems. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting second half. But listen, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you at full time. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll still celebrate a Newcastle goal advantage at full time. But thanks, gents. See you soon.
Okay. See you in a bit.
So there you go, guys. That was Billy and Alex's thoughts on the first half. They will rejoin me at full time to get their thoughts on the second half. If you're just joining us, there's over 1,500 people watching, which is fabulous, guys. Thank you so much. If you are liking the stream, please do hit that like button. It takes like 2 seconds to do. Just hit the like button. And also, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, lots of live watch-alongs, every Newcastle game, there's commentary on home and away. And of course, many live shows and videos on this channel, constantly keeping you updated on Newcastle United. So if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, become a member of the community. It's a wonderful community on the Toon Review, and we're looking to grow and grow and grow and keep it going. So thank you very much in advance for that. And of course, you still can, if you want to make a donation to the channel, which always helps us greatly. You can by hitting that $sign at the bottom of the live comments. So thank you very much in advance for that. Abs says, playing out from the back is what good teams do. If you don't like it, go and watch old Bruce matches. Yeah. Look, playing out from the back is part of the game now. And normally, I think we do it quite well, to be honest with you. It's never been much of a problem for me, but we've just slowed it up a little bit too much for me in this in that first half, and that needs to change. Now, we are getting a lot of people putting spoilers in the chat tonight, which I'm really disappointed about. So I'll say it again. If you're going to keep putting spoilers in, you will be thrown off the channel. Stop spoiling it for the people that can't watch the game and are just listening to the commentary and enjoying the match, right? It's common courtesy, guys. Wait till I've commentated on it and then talk about it in the chat. All right? Please do not put anything in if I haven't commentated on it yet. Stop spoiling it for other people, or the mods will just chuck you off. Genuine question, says Owl House. Why don't you hit that like button? Well, there you go. Go on, all ears. Just hit that button now. It takes a couple of seconds to do it. How should give Burn 1,000 lines at halftime? Must do better. Yep. Absolutely. Guys, remember, I'm slightly behind probably what's on Sky. So if you want to be synced up with me, if you're heading towards kickoff for the second half, just pause your telly and then wait till I've said, right, we're underway. Press play on your TV so you'll be synced up with me and we can all watch it together. But if you are ahead, again, no spoilers, please. If you like this algorithm knows you're a pure belter human and it'll reward you for your outstanding taste, says Anthony. West Ham put high pressures in today like we normally do, and we cannot handle it, says Anders. Tom says, of course, Tom is one of the mods. Put spoilers in, get kicked out. We've already had to do it several times tonight. They are on the toes, guys. We have a fantastic mod squad, and they will kick you out. It's as simple as that. No changes for Newcastle at halftime, guys, by the looks of things. It's the same 11. Hopefully, Eddie's got right stuck into them. So I'm expecting a much, much stronger second half from Newcastle United, certainly not giving the ball away as much as they do. Sean Longstaff ready to get us underway for the second half. And the referee blows his whistle, and we are underway for the second half. Here we go. Can we keep this lead? Or indeed extend it. Immediately a long ball played into the West Ham penalty area and a guard. Very, very confident little back header that. To his goalkeeper. Good pressing by Jacob Murphy. Murphy's won the ball. Wilson, it's 3-1. What a disaster for West Ham in the first 30 seconds of the game. And it's lost. And brilliant work from Jacob Murphy. And all West Ham's plans for the second half have gone up in smoke. It's a disaster for West Ham. What on earth were they doing there? Murphy, unselfish as ever, plays it across. And, well, it's an open goal for Callum Wilson. It's 3-1 to Newcastle United. I'm absolutely staggered. What was the guard doing? Fabianski rolls it out. Murphy's on him in a flash, wins the ball back. And it's a simple little knock across. And Callum Wilson does not miss from 3 yards. That is awful defending, and everything that West Ham will have said in that dressing room about getting back on level terms has just gone up the spout by an awful error by a guard. A terrible error, but brilliant work by Jacob Murphy. He just swooped in on him. Didn't give him a second. And Callum Wilson says, thank you very much. 3-1. Wow. I mean, I tell you something, guys, that is just really settled everybody down. Absolutely settled everybody down. Incredible start to the second half. And, well, that will get our tails up surely now. But you know what? The way this game's been going, anything can happen. Shakuro, thank you for the 199 super chat. That has to be one of the fastest goals ever. Yeah, well, for a second half, yes. I would imagine so. Absolutely dreadful. Wilson brought down very, very late there. The referee does give a free kick. He could have played advantage, but it was kind of congested in that midfield. Wow, I tell you something. I'm absolutely staggered. I'm absolutely staggered by that. But yeah, hey, George T, thank you very much for another £5. Must have been a great first halftime chat, he says. Well, indeed, but let's not take away some credit to Jacob Murphy because he was on a guard in a flash. He saw the goal kick come to him and he won the ball back and very, very calmly just plays it across to Callum Wilson. Wilson says, thank you very much. And it's 3-1. And Botman is taken out very, very late there. And he's down injured, holding his left ankle. Nasty tackle. I'm not sure who it was, actually. Bandit, thank you very much for your £1 super chat. Really appreciate that, buddy. It was Emerson, who's actually already been booked. Botman is still down. Now, I'm not sure. The referee hasn't taken any action on Emerson, and it certainly doesn't look like he's going to. Oh, I tell you, he didn't get the ball at all. He was nowhere near the ball. I tell you what, he's a lucky boy. That should be another yellow card. He should be gone for that. That's a massive let-off for West Ham United. Clearly a massive let-off. He should be second yellow carded and he should be gone. Wow. Unbelievable. Anyway, Bruno out to Trippier on the right. Knocks it back down to Bruno. Bruno then further down the right. West Ham trying to press. Trippier brilliantly in. And it's a throw into Newcastle United just over the halfway line. Well, I think West Ham have clearly got away with one there. I think that was a second yellow for Emerson. He should be gone. Moyes is absolutely devastated. Bandit, thank you for another £2 super chat. Get up, Murphy, son. Hammers in the mud. At the moment they are. But we are still in the first 5 minutes of the second half. It's incredible. Here is Sven Botman now for Newcastle. Goes wide to Dan Burn. Burn has got options up the left-hand side to Joelinton now. Joelinton looking for the help from Maxi. Gets it. Maxi going the wrong way, but manages to find Dan Burn. He then finds Botman. Botman calmly plays it out with his right foot. Good ball up to Wilson. Wilson's little flick on for Big Joe. And then Joelinton's taken out. The referee has given the free kick. He looked like he was going to play on there, and then he stopped it. Kara takes out Joelinton. Thank you, Michael Harper, for your $4.99 super chat. Much appreciated, my friend. Thank you for all the super chats that are coming in, guys. Obviously, this is my full-time job, so I really do appreciate it. Here is Bruno. He goes wide now for his, Fabian Schär. He brings it to the halfway line. Rolls it into Murphy. Murphy plays it for Trippier again. Good ball in to Wilson. Wilson lays it off for Murphy. It was a poor layoff that by Callum Wilson. Not enough pace on it. And West Ham win the ball. Long ball played forward looking for Antonio. He's got the wrong side of Fabian Schär. Schär then decides not to go in for the tackle. Then he does and wins the ball brilliantly and comes away with it. That is much better from Fabian Schär. Bruno now. Paqueta all over him. Gets it to Antonio. Sorry, Antonio trying to get the ball back. But Newcastle United work it well. Nick Pope then sort of half slices it. Longstaff flicks it on. Nice play from Newcastle. Callum Wilson's touch is too heavy there, though. But look, Callum Wilson's now got 3 goals in 2 games. It's something that you just cannot argue with. So there you go. Both our strikers are now starting to find the net, which is bodes well for the rest of the season for Newcastle United. That there is no doubt about. Declan Rice for West Ham, who's certainly been the sort of engine room for West Ham throughout this game. As they come forward again now with Bowen, but good tackle by Dan Burn. Then a little flick from Bruno to St. Maximin. Now Maxi again goes on one of these mazy little runs of his. He's held onto the ball really well. But then, of course, Paqueta dives in. And that's a nasty one from Joelinton. And Paqueta again goes rolling around. I don't like to see Paqueta doing that. You know, nobody else on the pitch has done that throughout the game. And Paqueta is down. Oh, he has booked Joelinton this time. Now, here's a question, guys, because that tackle there by Joelinton, okay, you know, is really not half as bad as what, Emerson's just done on Botman. Yet somehow Joelinton gets a booking for that. Very, very strange refereeing. Stephen Missy, thank you very much for your $9.99 super chat. Telly keeps on flickering tornado warnings out here. Yeah, stay safe, guys. I know there's a lot of tornado warnings in the States at the minute. Stay safe. We really hope that it doesn't come anywhere near you. Ian A, thank you very much for another $4.99 super chat. Paul, you and Billy do the best watch-alongs ever. The Dutch hooker quote had my wife in stitches. So I just come out with bullshit half the time. Anyway, Declan Rice goes all the way back to Fabianski. For me, there's got to be a bit of consistency with these referee and booking decisions because it's just bizarre. It really is because, I mean, Emerson's tackle there was worse for me than what Joelinton's was there. Unreal, man. And there was no need for Paqueta to go rolling around like that. But let's face it, Big Joe does like a yellow card, doesn't he, from time to time this season. Anyway, Botman has the ball, plays a long left-footed clearance down towards Callum Wilson, out-jumped by Zuma, comes to Bruno. Bruno manages to get it to Longstaff, who switches to Kieran Trippier now. Trippier back inside to Bruno. Bruno takes his time, has a look, brings it over the halfway line. He's got support from Trippier. Trippier cuts inside. Lays it to Sven Botman. Botman now inside. Good ball into Joelinton. Joelinton now outside to Maxi. Maxi now cuts in on his right foot. Looks for the cross in. Gets it. It's a good cross again. And not a great header by your guard. Murphy kind of backed out of the 50-50 challenge there. Should have been a bit stronger there, Jacob Murphy. Good play from Fabian Schär, but the referee decides it's a foul on Antonio. Free kick, West Ham. Thank you very much to Richard Rafferty for a £5 super chat as well. Guys, your generosity blows me away. Thank you very much for all the super chats. If you'd like to donate, just hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments, and it will take you through to your payment method of choice. Please hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, why not subscribe and come be part of this fantastic Toon Review community that we have here. Declan Rice with the free kick for West Ham, long towards Antonio. Antonio goes down. The referee just says, get up and play on. Trippier's in no hurry to get on with the game. Goes back to Nick Pope. I'm not sure why Antonio went down there like a bucket of rocks. Terrible. Botman. Oh, that's a terrible ball by Botman. He went to try and go high over towards Kieran Trippier, but it was absolutely awful. But Trippier managed to get the ball back. Wilson taking out the play as Longstaff goes long across to the left-hand side, looking for Maxi. Maxi's touch on to Joelinton. Big opportunity for Newcastle here. Jacob Murphy! What a save! Rebound! Oh, Joelinton just couldn't put it in. That was a really big chance for Jacob Murphy. And it should have been 4-1 to Newcastle. Wow. Brilliant work by Newcastle to build up. What a ball by Longstaff. Right across to Maxi. It was a beautiful touch by Maxi to Joelinton. Joelinton then a simple backheel back to Maxi. He plays Murphy in. Left foot. It's a good save, you have to say. But he should have scored. I mean, he's got the goal at his mercy. He tries to put it the other way from where Fabianski was coming from, but he made a good save to his right. But that could have been 4-1. Apparently, we only need 34 subscribers to hit 18,000, guys. That is incredible. Thank you very much. The ball's bouncing around in the penalty area again. It's headed away. Wow, we've had a massive influx of subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. Can we actually hit 18K before the end of the game? Wow. Thank you so much, everybody. Callum Wilson now for Newcastle United. And again, he's gone to try and lob Fabianski from the halfway line. And Fabianski manages to get there. And that wasn't a bad effort, actually, by Callum Wilson. I'm not sure whether he thought he might have been offside. See, Stock, I can't help my voice, matey. It's pure passion from Sunday. You just have to put up with Sean Dyche commentating, mate. Joelinton taken down by Paqueta, but Paqueta was strong there. Plays Joelinton off the ball. Now out wide to this is an opportunity. Declan Rice down, clips it in, and Nick Pope just palms it behind, but it had already gone behind, says the referee, and a goal kick to Newcastle United. Declan Rice not really happy with that. Bradley Gardner, thank you for your 129 Swedish krona. Really appreciate that. Love a Toon West Ham match, always meaty. Meaty is the right word. Absolutely. Yeah, it did go out, actually. It curled out back in. And then, of course, Nick Pope just made sure. Barth, thank you very much. The best Toon channel on YouTube. Really appreciate that. So Nick Pope is going to go along with this goal kick. He's told Sharon Botman to bugger off. And Pope launches it up the field. Looking for Callum Wilson. Good flick on by Wilson. Murphy gives chase after it. Couldn't quite get there. Kera now for West Ham. Not a great clearance from him. Joelinton is there, as is Dan Burn. The ball's gone out of play. That's going to be a throw into West Ham halfway through their own half. And they're sending out Danny Ings to warm up. He loves a goal against Newcastle, does Danny Ings. Here's Antonio to Jared Bourne. Now Bourne having a run at Dan Burn, who has been a little bit better in this first half, but Bourne's got the better of him again. Cross comes in. Trippier's there to head it away. And again, Dan Burn just burned for pace there. Jared Bourne just disappearing into the night, the London sky there. Awful. Here's St. Maximan now, deep in his own half. Rolls it back to Sven Botman. Botman on his left foot, goes up to Maxi again. Maxi controls it, but it's gone out of play. A terrible ball again by Botman. He's not been at it either, passing-wise tonight. But that's great work by Maxi. Beautiful ball by Bruno over the top for Trippier. Trippier, beautiful skill from him. And then sets Maxi away down the right-hand side. Brilliant play from Trippier. Maxi now having a run at Kurt Zuma, cutting back on his right. Goes for the curler! And it wasn't far away. Tipped wide by Fabianski. It was heading into the corner, and again, Maxi causing all sorts of problems for the Hammers back four. Brilliant shot, and that is a wonderful save by the goalkeeper. He just got a finger on it. There was no doubt about it. That was heading in the bottom corner, and just a fingertip from Fabianski. And that is two big saves in the last 10 minutes from the West Ham goalkeeper, or this could be 5. It's incredible. Absolutely brilliant save. Longstaff plays that's an awful ball in again by Trippier. Not great at all. And it's put Newcastle now under pressure because West Ham quickly break with Ben Rama. Murphy is back there. It's played into Declan Rice. He's going at it against Botman. Botman does well, and it ends up with Nick Pope. But that all came around by a stupid corner where Longstaff just touches it to Trippier. Trippier's ball in was absolutely awful. Well, we got away with it. But wow, what a save by Fabianski, I have to say. Brilliant from Maxi again. Brilliant. Dan Burns touches heavy again. He's lost the ball again. And Dan Burn just doesn't look right, guys. He looks absolutely wasted. He really does. And by wasted, I mean not in the sense that he's had 20 pints of lager. I mean in the sense that his fitness is awful. But here's Jacob Murphy breaking for Newcastle. Lays it up the line to Wilson. Wilson tugs back. He's got Paqueta there for That's terrible from... It's Emerson again. Now, come on, ref. That's got to be a second yellow card. How has he got away with that? That's disgraceful. I'm sorry, but how many times has he got away with that? Kara's saying that Callum Wilson dived. I mean, I'm looking at it again. It's a foul. It's a booking. In fact, it's 2. He went in late on 2 players there. He stands on Wilson's foot for a start. How is he not off the field? Crazy refereeing. Wow, I'm sure Eddie Howe will have something to say about this after the game. He's got away with 2 now when he should have been a second yellow and he should be off the field. Fabianski launches one, but that's going to go out of play because he was positional play was all wrong. Great shutting down again by Callum Wilson. 61 minutes on the clock. It's West Ham 1, Newcastle United 3 at the London Stadium, and 3 changes for Eddie Howe. Isak is coming on, Willock is coming on, and so is Anthony Gordon. West Ham are responding with 3 substitutions of their own. But what a 3 to bring on the pitch, guys. What a 3. Here's Joelinton. Down the line to Maxi, who's had a blast tonight, certainly in the second half. He's all over them. Plays it into Bruno. Bruno now, he's got Trippier to his right-hand side. Plays a lovely little ball into Sean. Sean Longstaff rolls it in for Murphy. Murphy across the face of goal. Comes to Maxi. Maxi brings it down, rolls it back for Bruno. Just couldn't get there. I mean, there's more goals for Newcastle in this. There's no doubt about it. Oh, Dan Burn, what are you doing? He's just run the ball out of play. That's terrible. He is having an absolute stinker. Shaved my testicles with a bloody rusty razor. Christ on a bike. I am getting so annoyed at Dan Burn there. He had the ball way inside the pitch and then somehow managed to run it out of play. It's just awful, guys. It's awful. Anyway, West Ham are the first to make the substitutions, and it is going to be Antonio coming off. Ben Rama's coming off. Trying to see who's coming on for West Ham here. Cornet's coming on. Souček is going off as well. That's their 3 off. Danny Ings is on. So Danny Ings is on, Cornet is on, and I'm not sure who the other West Ham substitution is. He's made 4 changes. Kera, Souček, Benrahma, Antonio all off. And on are Kufal, Downs, Cornet, and Danny Ings. Newcastle, Jacob Murphy is coming off. Isak's already on. I'm pretty sure that was for Murphy. For Wilson. Murphy's coming off. Willock is on, and Anthony Gordon as well. Yeah, it is Callum Wilson. Maxi's been taken off as well. Very well played, Maxi. Obviously, Eddie knows we've got 3 games in a week. That isn't a bad substitution. He hasn't took them off because he's been poor. He's just obviously realising the games that we've got. So really, really, really good performance again, I have to say. How Dan Burn is still on the pitch, God will only know. But we'll support the lads who are on the pitch right now. And Joelinton immediately nicks it inside, looking for Bruno. Paqueta and Bruno clashing again in the midfield. Oh, Bones just done Dan Burn again. And here come West Ham. Danger in the penalty area. Good defending and swept away by Sean Longstaff. But how long does Eddie give this? Dan Burn has got to come off. I mean, Bones it's incredible. He is all over the shop tonight, Dan Burn. And I'm disappointed with that because Dan Burn has been so good for us. But come on. Enough's enough. When you're having a stinker like this, you make a change. Right now, guys, I have to say, I'd be much more confident with Matt Targett being at left back. And that's no disrespect to Dan Burn. He's just done a rotten game tonight. He has been rotten. And again, the fact that he was just done by Jared Bowen, they're going to get the ball many, many times to Jared Bowen. But listen, people are saying, have a run at Emerson now. Go at him. I mean, surely, the next foul he has, he's got to go. So just go at him. It looks like Joelinton's took the position up on the left. Willock's gone into Joelinton's position. And, of course, Anthony Gordon on the right and Isak through the middle. Here is Isak. Back to Dan Burn. Burn finally plays it to a Newcastle player, Sven Botman, across to Fabian Schär. Newcastle just need to see the game out now, guys. It's all about getting 3 points. The second half has been better. There's no doubt about that. The first 20 minutes of this second half, we've been much better passing-wise. I'm under no illusion about that. So it's just seeing the game out now. Trippier's header. Sean Longstaff brings it down really well. It's a tackle by a guard. He wants to throw into West Ham. He's not going to get it. Would-be farmer says Burn will cost us a goal. Look, there is a chance of that. Harry Austin, thank you very much for your $25 super chat. Thank you all, the afternoon shows here in Texas. Keep it up, Paul Billy, and everyone behind the scenes to make Paul look good. Thank you very much. John Green, thank you for your £5 super chat as well. That is very kind. Ball played through, looking for Jared Bourne, but this time Dan Burn gets back. Nick Pope launches a left-footed, what I can only describe as a high-riser goal kick there. It's with Sven Botman now. Botman plays it forward to Bruno. Bruno into the feet of Joe Willock. Willock now back to Bruno. Bruno turns. He's got support across the field from Trippier. Hammers the ball across to his captain. Inside to Longstaff. Back now to Fabian Schär. West Ham pressing, but Newcastle staying calm. Schär's giving the ball away, though. Again, that was poor. We then win it back, but the West Ham get it back off us. Here is Paqueta. Anthony Gordon wins it back really well. Showed a lot of strength there to beat Paqueta off the ball. Played in now to Joe Willock. Willock's got a forward run from Joelinton. Willock decides to take it on down the left-hand side himself. He's got 3 West Ham players to deal with. Willock turns, brilliantly done, and finds Sean Longstaff. Rolls it into Bruno. Bruno's got options on the right again, this time from Trippier. Trippier looks up, sees a man in the middle, which is Longstaff. Touch on. That's lovely football. Almost a little combination between Isak and Longstaff there. And Newcastle win a throw-in. Trippier wanted a foul. I think he's given a throw into West Ham. How is that a throw to West Ham? And now Sean Longstaff looks like he needs a little bit of treatment. The guard's trying to pick him up off the floor. All right, he doesn't need treatment now. This physio's been sent back. Just Newcastle really just recuperating here. But look, much better second half. I mean, that was a lovely bit of interplay between Isak and Longstaff. Isak just couldn't get the flick on over the top of the defender's head. Paqueta now for West Ham. Plays it forward to Cornet. Schär comes across. He's not going to let Cornet go, but Cornet does really well. Trippier's back there. That's Nick Pope's ball, surely. And, well, again, a little... Oh, Dan Burn, come on! He's given away a corner. Why don't you just put your bloody foot through it, man? Come on, Eddie. Time is now. The time is now before he gives a goal away. The cross comes in from Cornet. Pope sort of leaves it. Dan Burn is so slow. Wow. That should have been away. And West Ham now have a corner because of that. Just over 20 minutes to go in the 90s. Still 3-1 to Newcastle. Corner comes across. Burn gets ahead to it. It's not a great header, I have to say. It's bouncing around. And I think it was Willock got the clearance. Paqueta just gives Isak a nudge. Oh, great play again from Bowen. Willock pinned down now, deep in his own half. He's done really well there, Joe Willock. Bruno now gets it up to Anthony Gordon. Gordon to Isak. Gordon is then taken out of the play, and Newcastle get a free kick. Kurt Zuma with a foul, and that will give us a bit of time. We try to play it quickly, but the referee's having none of it and brings it back. Well, here's the difference. The first half, 6 attempts for West Ham, 5 for Newcastle. Second half, none for West Ham, 5 for Newcastle. So there it is. It's clearly in the stats that we have dramatically improved in the second half. Has it been perfect? Absolutely not. Some of the passing has still been a bit wayward. But quite honestly, it's been a massive improvement from the first half, even though we scored 2 goals in that first half. Here's Anthony Gordon for Newcastle. He's got Declan Rice all over him. Rice hauls him to the floor. Referee says play on. Strange decision, that. Corner now for West Ham. 20 minutes to go at the London Stadium. West Ham 1, Newcastle United 3. But West Ham, they haven't offered anything second half, to be honest. And as long as it stays like that, then we will win the game. Trippier, brilliant defending again from the Newcastle captain. And now it's a free kick to West Ham. Trippier claiming a dive. Ashley Eddie's, I realise what you're saying about, Eddie who's leaving Burn on. But listen, he's not playing well. He's playing terribly. And, there's been chances of him giving a goal away when we've got a left back sitting on his arse on the bench who can certainly come on for the last 20-odd minutes and just do a job at left back. He's having a rank game. Everybody has bad games now and again. So, Unfortunately, this is Dan Burns. Stato not happy that Emerson is still on the pitch to take this free kick. I have to agree. I don't even think it was a foul, to be honest. A poor referee in that time. Emerson's free kick into the box. Zuma manhandling Longstaff and manages to get there. Comes loose. Ings goes for the drive. Paqueta, it's bouncing around in the Newcastle area. Paqueta does well. That's nice from the Brazilian. Gets it to Cornet. Cornet back to Declan Rice. Rice will put it into the box. And Dan Burn manages to let it go. And the referee decides he's going to give a corner. I'll tell you what. We only need 14 subscribers to get to 18,000. Wow. Before the stream started, we needed, well, I think it was, 60 odd? God, what a brilliant night. Pope's up again and doesn't get there, but I think this time the referee has given a free kick for a foul by Kurt Zuma. And, Zuma basically pretending that Nick Pope was a little kitten. Throwing him to the ground, just seeing a replay of this. Ings is definitely interfering with him. Ball comes in. Well, I don't think Zuma did anything wrong there. I think it was Ings initially with the foul anyway. Wow, I can't believe we only need 14 more subscribers for 18,000. You guys are incredible. The ball trickled wide anyway, but he's given a free kick to Newcastle. Listen, there's no doubt in my mind that Emerson shouldn't even be on the pitch right now, to be honest. It's an absolute disgrace that he is still on the pitch. He has made 2 bookable fouls in this second half, yet he still finds himself involved in the game. Botman, that's a massive header. All the way back. A guard nods it on. Botman again staying strong with Danny Ings. Bruno, Longstaff takes it down really nicely. But Declan Rice, Paqueta wins it back. That's nice from Paqueta. Brilliant play. He's had a good game tonight, Paqueta, I have to say. Good tackle by Bruno, though, and we win the ball back. And Bruno is on the ball again, looking for Willock to make a run. It's a bad ball by Bruno. Gives it away to Kufal, and Kufal has no option, though, but to go back to Fabianski. Fabianski now launches, and to be honest, the game could have been way out of West Ham's reach had Fabianski not made 2 wonderful saves. That's a great ball for Anthony Gordon. Gordon now in the penalty area for Newcastle. He's got help from Longstaff. Longstaff back to Gordon. Gordon's ball is put back. Willock! Oh, blocked by Zuma. It's come back to Joe Willock. Willock out to Joelinton. It's all a bit tight and congested. Bruno! So it's gone wide. I thought it was in. Wow. I thought it was in the net. It was so congested in there. Bruno just tries to get a big shot away. Joelinton pulls it back. Oh, that's inches. That's inches. Unbelievable goings on. And I mean, this game could have been put to bed. It could have been 6-1 by now, guys. I'm not jesting. The 2 saves, of course, from Fabianski. That opportunity from Bruno. This now should have been 6-1. We have turned it around brilliantly in this second half, I have to say. Absolutely brilliantly. Yes, the passing is still a little bit off by certain players, but look, the rest of it, we've turned it around. West Ham haven't done anything to get back to put Nick Pope in under any pressure. And a run now from Dan Burn getting forward. Wow. And he does a little hop, skip and jump and can't get the cross in. And it comes to Fabianski. And Dan Burn is looking absolutely wellied. Danny Ings tries to flick it onto himself. But Shah plays it all the way back to Nick Pope. Pope then calmly rolls it out to Botman. Botman then inside to Fabian Schär. Back to Sven Botman. 15 minutes to go of normal time here at the London Stadium. In what could be 6-1 at the minute, but it's 3-1. Longstaff now to Anthony Gordon on this right-hand side. Back to Trippier. Inside to Bruno, who's been outstanding tonight. He's been at the heart of everything for Newcastle. Driving, winning balls. He's just been his normal self again. What a player he is. Absolutely wonderful to watch. Botman to Willock. I'm not sure where Dan Burn is at the minute. He's nowhere to be seen. He is Botman. Rolls it into Trippier now, who's come across into the middle. Trippier then goes wide out to Anthony Gordon. Gordon cuts back, looks again for his centre-back, Fabian Schär. Rolls it into Trippier. Trippier will then just roll it on to Botman. Burn is now back into position. Botman plays a hard ball up the field, but again, a giveaway. Botman's passing's been off tonight as well, guys. His defending's been sound, but his distribution's been so poor tonight. It's a shame. But like everybody has bad games. But his defending's been fine. It's been one or the other with Sven Botman tonight. But the point is, we are 3-1 up. That is the main point of the night so far. And we've had a much better second half. That there is no doubt about. Cornet now plays it back to a guard. He goes long looking for Jared Bourne. Dan Burn is there. Joelinton brings it down. And he's lost the ball, though, gives it to Paqueta. Now for West Ham coming on. Downs to, again, Jared Bourne having a run at Dan Burn and wins a corner for West Ham. Burn did well to get across and knock that out. But again, Bourne's had the beating of Dan Burn all night. Literally all night. There's no doubt about that. It's been there for all to see. West Ham have another corner. And to be fair, these are dangerous moments for Newcastle. Pope comes out and gets a punch on that. Clears the penalty area. Good play by the Newcastle goalkeeper. Trippier. The ball's bouncing around. Trippier wanted a handball. Nothing given. Declan Rice now for West Ham. Out to the left-hand side to Cornet. Cornet pulls it back to Declan Rice. Rice across now to Kufal. Kufal rolls it in towards Downs. Downs, a nice little turn. Finds Jared Bourne. West Ham coming at us again. Bourne cuts inside. And the referee says foul. I don't think Pawson was going to give a free kick there. Joe Willock looks a bit disgusted with the whole thing. But it was the referee that flagged. I mean, Bourne did really well there. Totally did Willock. Well, I'm not so sure. The trailing leg, yes. Just crazy. Crazy. Who keeps unsubscribing, says Colorado Magpie. Look, you get some nuggets on during the watch along. You get some real, dungeon keyboard warriors who just hit the subscribe button and unsubscribe because they think it's funny. But, I don't really care about them bellends, to be honest. It's the proper subscribers that I care about. Jay Devlin, thank you very much for your £2. Really, really appreciate that. But this is a dangerous, dangerous free kick for West Ham. Right on the edge of the box to the right-hand side. They're going to have to cross this, or Bourne might try and whip it on his left foot. He does! And it was just too high for Kurt Zuma. I'm not sure whether Bourne was actually going. I'm not sure whether he was going for goal or whether he was trying to find Zuma. But it was way too high for Zuma anyway. We got 11 minutes to go of this one. And it's West Ham United 1, Newcastle United 3. Goals for Newcastle tonight. 2 from Callum Wilson and 1 from Joelinton. And there is a lot of West Ham fans leaving the ground. Wow. I mean, look, I understand that, but there's still over 10 minutes to go in the game, plus injury time. And the way this game's gone, anything can happen. I mean, that's not really great support, is it? To be honest. But, West Ham haven't really threatened to get back in the game second half. We have played so much better. Agard manages to keep it in play. Good work by Longstaff, though, forcing West Ham to kick it out of play. Level with the touchline here. Level with the 18-yard box. I know, to be honest, the way the second half's gone, we should be 6-1 up. The goalkeeper's made some great saves from Murphy and from Maxi. And then, of course, Bruno's shot just going wide. Here's Isak now into Willock. Willock, a little back heel just behind Isak. It was a very good idea. And now West Ham play it long. Burn gets ahead to it. Botman gets ahead to it. And another one. He's defended well tonight, Botman, but his passing's been atrocious. Bit of a miss hit there by Kufal, but it manages to come to a guard. And a guard manages to escape the clutches of Anthony Gordon. And away comes Paqueta now for West Ham. Nice little 1-2 with Danny Ings. Plays a lovely ball through. What an interception by Kieran Trippier. Or Maxwell Cornet was in on goal alone. Brilliant defending from the Newcastle captain there. And that just says how we've got to stay alert like that. Concentration has got to be top-notch. Brilliant tackle, Anthony Gordon, and stops the ball going out as well. Superb from Newcastle. Bruno then hits a long ball over the top looking for Isak. But Fabianski's come way out. He's not got it. Isak! It's 4! This is tremendous. I am loving it. Loving it. Oh, God. Fabianski completely mucks it up again. But what a finish from Isak. Just calmly lobs it back over the top into the net. And it's 4-1 to the Toon. And Isak gives a cheeky little smile to the Newcastle fans who are going absolutely bombastic behind the goal. This is awesome. I mean, that is just so calm. It was a lovely ball by Bruno over the top for Isak. Fabianski decided he was coming out for it. It bounced too high for him. And what a bit of control by Isak. And just dinks it in to 4-1. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Fabianski misjudged the bounce. It's as simple as that. But what a finish by Isak. And he just stands there with his hands on his hips saying, that's the easiest goal I'm ever going to score. He still had a lot of work to do, though, guys. He really did. But what a finish. And Fabianski, oh, dear. I mean, look, goalkeepers have got to take a chance with that. Isak was in. He comes out. But the ball bounces way higher than he thought it would. To be fair to Fabianski, he doesn't handball it. He tries to thigh it away, but there was never going to get purchase on it enough to stop that going in. Brilliant. It's absolutely outstanding from Newcastle. Poor in the first half, but my God, whatever was said in that dressing room at halftime, it worked a treat. Yes, the mistake by a guard to let Wilson score 20 seconds into the second half, that will have helped and knocked the stuffing out of West Ham. But to give the lads credit, they were poor first half. We were all over the shop for big parts. And we're coming again here now with Joelinton down the left-hand side. He's got to beat Zuma. He does. He tries to get it across to Anthony Gordon. It's just too far in front of him and rolls out for a goal kick. George, thanks for another £5 super chat, matey. That is so kind. Joelinton had the beating of Zuma. Just tried to play it across, but overhit it. But this is brilliant. I mean, guys, let's give credit where credit's due. We're playing poorly in the first half. We go in 2-1 up. We know that Eddie Howe's going to read the riot act. He does. He blasts them. We come out in just a different team second half. Some players haven't been 100% at the races tonight. But what a boost that is when you've got players who are slightly out of touch tonight, but we are still winning an away game 4-1. And let's be honest, it could have been another 2. Or 3, actually. It could actually be 7-1, this. I mean, we've dominated the second half. Absolutely dominated. And to see these guys come off the bench who could just add to what we've already had is sensational. Willock now on the left-hand side for Newcastle. 3 West Ham players over there. Willock nutmegs one of them, gets back to win it himself. Paqueta concedes a throw in. And, West Ham are just gone. Substitution for Newcastle. It is Dan Burn coming off. And Matt Targett is finally going to make an appearance for Newcastle United. He's had a poor one tonight, Dan Burn. But listen, credit to him. He's kept going. And that's the main thing. But good minutes this for Matty Targett. Dan Burn will know he's been poor tonight. So I'm not going to jump on Dan Burn because he's been awesome this season. And I love Dan Burn. I really do. I love him. But he's been really poor tonight. But listen, players are allowed bad games, guys. But listen, we're still 4-1 up. Some players just aren't going to be at the races. But look at him having a good laugh with the bench, this Dan Burn. Fabulous to see. I mean, the morale in this team must be just through the roof at the minute. Here's Bruno now for Newcastle. Swings it wide to Kieran Trippier. 5 minutes of normal time to go. Newcastle United leading at the London Stadium by 4-1. Yes, guys, you heard it. 4-1. It's been, an awful first half in which we somehow went in 2-1 up. But second half, we have absolutely dominated. Dominated from the word go of this second half. And whatever's Eddie's read the riot act to them in the dressing room, he's certainly done that. The result of it is, Newcastle get a goal kick. Bourne ran it out of play. Ian Fleming, thank you for another £5 super chat, my man. We won 5, lol. Why not? Why not? Guys, over 1,500 watching this stream tonight. Thank you so much for your company. Please do hit that like button. And of course, If you're new to the channel, why not come and be part of the community? Hit the subscribe button, free to do so. And of course, if you want to donate to the channel, hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments like so many people have tonight. So thank you very, very, very much. Newcastle making another change, their 5th of the night. The camera's panned in on David Moyes at the minute on my stream. I'm trying to see who the hell's come on. Trippier's gone off. I believe it's Manquillo who's come on. And that will, yes, it is. That will complete, just give them a little bit of an extra rest there. Trippier's been really good tonight. A couple of dodgy crosses, but to be honest, his defending's been absolutely brilliant. Certainly second half. I mean, the turnaround from first to second half has been incredible. I don't know what we were playing at in some stage of the first half, but clearly Eddie Howe's got stuck into them at half-time, and that's what a good manager does. Declan Rice for West Ham, who's been absolutely superb again. Brilliant, Declan Rice. He is. He's going to go on to bigger and better things. He won't be staying with West Ham. There's no doubt about that. Where his destination will be, time will tell. But he has had an absolutely brilliant game. But he is way too good for this team. Way too good. West Ham huffed and puffed, but second half, they've been outclassed. Simple as that. And it's amazing. Here is Willock again, taken down. And, well, Downs surely is going to get a yellow card for that. Indeed he is. Totally done there by Joe Willock. Again, drive and run. Downs had no option but to bring him down. It's a poor tackle and deserved of a yellow card. Bandit, please don't have a go at the mods. They're under instructions from me. I know what you're saying about getting in capitals. I think, yeah, it's fine if we score a goal and things like that, but please don't have a go at the mods, Bandit, because they do have a really tough job on nights like this when we've got so many people watching. So please understand that they're under instructions from me, but I understand where you're coming from as well with get in for a goal. That's perfectly fine. But let's keep it all friendly, guys, because this is absolutely brilliant. Here's Anthony Gordon. He's got an overlap from Manquillo. Doesn't need him. And he's shot straight off Paqueta. The ball comes loose to Fabian Schär. Schär gives it back to Anthony Gordon, who now we are at walking pace now. So many yellow seats in the London Stadium. And now, well, all the seats have been vacated by the West Ham fans. They've had enough. To be honest, they've had enough of 3-1 with 10 minutes left. So 4-1, it's just going to be crazy. Guys, you know, please understand the caps thing. You know, it is classed as shouting, but I understand when we score. And I think, you know, in future games, I think if we're typing get in when we're scoring capitals, that'll be fine. But please understand that the mods are under instructions from me. And they've done a wonderful job again tonight. So please don't be harsh on them, guys, because they are absolute legends and do an amazing job for this channel. Bruno, that's a wonderful ball out to the left of Joelinton. He takes it in his stride really well. It's Joelinton against Kurt Zouma. It's 5-1, and Joelinton gets another for Newcastle. He takes one in the head, but what a finish from Big Joe. And that just puts the icing and the cherry on top of that beautiful jam cake. It's 5-1 to Newcastle. They have utterly destroyed West Ham in this second half. And Joelinton now has a second goal. It is absolutely brilliant. I cannot believe what I've seen in this second half. I honestly, that first half, you wouldn't think we were capable of this. But wow, what a finish. He put Zouma in his pocket and he buries it. It's a brilliant finish. What a ball from Fabian Schär as well, by the way. Joelinton took it in his stride, and that's a brilliant finish from the big Brazilian. Knew where the net was and tucks it home and gets his second of the night. Brilliant from Big Joe. It bounced just before Fabianski's hand and over the top of him. Kim Davison, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. This is a brilliant night to be a Newcastle fan. Yet again. Yet again. Here's Declan Rice down the left. He's never stopped running for West Ham, to be fair to Declan Rice. He's ran it out of play, but It's a one-man band with West Ham at the minute. Dave, thank you very much for your €5 super chat. Congrats, Paul, TTR team, and mods. Well deserved for the best Toon channel and best group chat. Isak is unreal signing, and that result deserves Daisy. Maybe we'll see Daisy. Maybe we will. Who knows whether we'll see Daisy. But look at that. The tops are off for Newcastle fans. I mean, you know what it is? What a second half this has been. We've got 4 minutes of additional time, guys, so around 2 minutes left of that. But those fans behind the goal, some of them will probably be staying in London till Saturday now. But boy, oh boy, will they be enjoying themselves tonight. Here's Matt Target for Newcastle. Up the line to Joelinton. Joelinton into Bruno. Trying to go back to Joelinton. But it's intercepted by Kufal. And he plays it all the way back to Fabianski. Well, West Ham are in trouble. I think Moyes may well find himself in real trouble. Paqueta, who's also had a very, very good game for West Ham tonight, I have to say, he's been a force. But unfortunately for him, there's only been him and really Declan Rice that have shone for West Ham. Fabianski, made some good saves, but he also made a right error for a goal for Isak. Steve Mallam, thank you very much for your $4.99 super chat. 5 goals deserves £5. Cheers, Paul. And I owe you a penny. I think we'll let you off with that, Steve, mate. This is just a joy to watch this. I mean, wow. Dan says West Ham's worst home loss since 1920, guys. And we are the team to do it. I Like Coffee says, I did predict 5-0 yesterday. Yeah, you did. But it's 5-1. There you go. Now West Ham on the ball here with Jared Bowen, who he's been in and out of this game. I think it's fair to say, Jared Bowen, he's definitely had the beating of Dan Burn tonight. But you know what? Nobody's been able to get on the end of his deliveries. Ball played down the line. And Sven Botman has just absolutely lashed it to row Z of the London Stadium. Probably as hard as he's kicked the ball tonight. Bowen again for West Ham. But the ball is taken off him by Matt Target. Plays it up the line to Joe Willock. Flicks it inside to Bruno. Bruno to Longstaff. Longstaff to Botman. Botman to Cher. And Cher is now in acres of space. Got about 20 seconds of injury time left. And Newcastle United have been absolutely dominant second half. There's no doubt about it. They needed to turn up the heat. And boy, oh boy, have they done that. George T, thank you for another £5 super chat. Thank you very, very much, my friend. There it is, the full-time whistle. And Newcastle United march on in their quest to hit the Champions League heights. It was a superb performance. Just joyous to watch from the word go in the second half. First half, we were all out of the shop, but managed to go in at halftime 2-1 up. Second half, my God, did we up the standard dramatically. We upped the standard, and boy, did we look like a Champions League football team there. Superb to watch. Moyes has had no answer to that at all in the second half, and we march on, guys. We simply march on towards this 4th place in the Premier League. It is incredible. Simply incredible. And, well, before we bring Alex and Billy on, there's only one thing we can do after a performance like that. Get them cows in the chat. Get them emojis going, guys. Here is Daisy. So there you go. Daisy is a very happy heifer tonight. There's no doubt about it. Bradley Gardner, thank you for 65 Swedish krona. Very kind of you. The Sleeping Giants roar again. Brilliant work, Paul. How are the lads? And we got a £10 super chat from Carl C. There's no comment there, but thank you very much, Carl. Much appreciated. Billy Bob. I mean, we were talking there at halftime saying, wow, it needs to improve. Boy, did that improve.
Yeah, I aided a bet bought some pretty woeful West Ham defending at the first goal straight away.
Hey, who gives a shit though, man?
That was the catalyst the rest of the half, because we did get more compact. And then when we brought the subs on 60 minutes, we just took the game away from West Ham totally. Fantastic second half performance. Best player on the park by country mile with Bruno Guimaraes again. Oh. Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb.
He just makes things tick, doesn't he? He just makes things so tick all over the pitch.
Against his mate as well. I mean, Piquet had a fair game, and so did Declan Rice, but not in the same standard at all as Bruno was tonight. Absolutely phenomenal performance.
I mean, when you think about Paqueta and Declan Rice, they are almost too good. By the looks of that tonight, they are too good for West Ham. Declan Rice never stopped running. He was controlling things first half, but we changed in that second half. We were more intense. And there's no doubt in my mind that Eddie has whatever's been said in that dressing room at halftime is what a manager needed to do at halftime, and he did it.
Yeah, you think about what we used to have our previous manager.
Well, exactly. Yeah, yeah. He'd have gone in at halftime and said we're playing well.
Yeah, we would have. Yeah, I would have
but he's such a perfectionist, isn't he? You saw on his face he wasn't happy with that.
No, he wasn't. And what you say, it was very sloppy first half. Second half, we were much better. Dan Burn again, I've got to say, that was pretty woeful second half. But
I mean, look, everybody has a bad game. But maybe that Target gets a shout on Saturday. We will see. Alex joins us. Alex, I mean, you know what? From panicking at halftime, thinking we just all out of the shop. What a second half that was.
Yeah, I mean, it's as predicted. I mean, I'm quite happy with my halftime predictions. We were more solid, and he made the triple subs on 63 minutes, which is exactly what I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely got them to be a bit more careful second half. We were quite fortunate with their mistakes. But again, you've got to give us a lot of credit,
Alex, hasn't it? It's happened to us this season where we've made defensive mistakes and calamities like that. But look, Fabianski, that goal for Isak, I mean, he just misjudged the bounce, similar to what Nick Pope did against Liverpool. That happens to goalkeepers. But the way Isak just calmly knocked that ball into the net and stood with his hands on his hips, I mean, it was just superb. And Big Joe's finish there at the end, I mean, that was just the icing on the cake.
It was, and the save also from St. Maximin was spellbinding. Oh, how he got to that, I'll never know.
Yeah,
superb save. So apart from the mistake he made 3 or 4 great saves. So
he did. It could have been 6 or 7. It really could. Keith Truscott, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says Isak is the epitome of cool, great performance. What a win! And David Smith, thank you for your £4.99. Thanks, Paul. Great commentary. Thank you very, very much. David, you're very welcome. Lots of cow emojis going on in the chat as well. As I said, Daisy's a very happy heifer tonight. Obviously, we've seen Target come on, Alex. Gets a few minutes, 10 or so minutes. It may be an option for Eddie to rest Dan Burn on Saturday.
Yeah, well, I think he's got a good excuse to now because it's 3 games in 6 days, so it's not controversial to do so. So it gives him an easy out to just play Target. I mean, it's no secret why he's brought him on for 10 minutes. Burn was absolutely awful. It's his worst game in a black and white shirt. And it's been coming because he's been having poor performances. He's been overperforming. Again, it's not his fault. He's not a left back. He's being asked, square pegs in a round hole. He's doing great, but this is going to happen from time to time. I'm not going to blame him as an athlete. He's a centre-back and he's a good player.
Yeah.
But that's what can happen. Fortunately, it's happened on a game where we've scored 5 goals and it's not mattered. But, it could be in an important game and it could drop us points. So it's been luckily for us, it's been in a game where it's not made a difference.
People are asking where Jimmy the Hammer is, of course, our resident Hammer who subscribes to the channel. He's not. He's very quiet, and I think he's probably stuck his head down a drain somewhere. To be fair, Southern Geordie says Burn was horrendous, but an amazing result. Still can't quite believe it. Stu says great. Both of our strikers are starting to hit a bit of form. Get some good competition up front. Jabby Dodger says got to give Burn a rest next game. Graham says mind Joelinton is a beast. Remember when he first came, we thought he was hopeless. Love the bloke. He's my favourite player now. And I've said that numerous of times. You go back and watch videos during Joelinton's first couple of years at the club, I absolutely mullered him. But one thing I always did say was, I hope he throws it back in my face. And I could not be happier that he has. And to many other Newcastle fans, his
finishing tonight was outstanding. I mean, the first goal, the actual finish, to go around the goalkeeper. We never saw that when he was a centre forward playing for us.
Yeah, but Billy, to still do that
when
he probably thought in his own mind he was going to be a flag for offside, but he still went on and finished it brilliantly. And the run was absolutely timed to perfection. What a ball it was by Shea, by the way.
Incidentally, how did Emerson stay on the pitch?
Well, look, I mean, that has to be looked at because, I mean, obviously it won't be. He's got away with it. But you're talking 2 tackles that were yellow card offences, undoubtedly. And then he gives a one to Joelinton, which is, I mean, it's not a hero there. I mean, it's bizarre. And I don't care about people saying, oh, well, don't give him a red. He doesn't want to give a red card. He's got to.
There's definitely a higher bar for second yellow. Definitely, without any sort of a doubt. Because that was his first offence. He got yellow carded for it. He did 2 in a second, didn't he? 2 fouls.
Yeah. I think he thought he might have been off on the second one, undoubtedly. But it somehow, Pawson doesn't give it. But, hey, it's water under the bridge now. Ab says it sounds awful. Sounds strange, but I don't think West Ham were awful. Well, they weren't first half, and second half. I think all of the momentum that West Ham had was taken away within 20 seconds, Alex, of the second half.
I think it was part of that. So that third goal, despite it being a mistake, is you've also got to give us credit for our pressing and our tenacity and how dogged we are constantly. We are like little rats that will not leave you alone. And that forces mistakes. Some people will just say, oh, West Ham just made mistakes. Well, no, it's the pressure. It's the threat of that. If you mistime it by half a second, we're in. And we punish them for that. And I think the second part of that isn't just the goals that knock the wind out of their sails. We are so much fitter than most of the other teams in the league. When it got to sort of 70 minutes, they were absolutely spent. And we looked like we went up another gear. We were just going for it. And that's why more goals came.
I'm so proud of that second half performance because West Ham never threatened to get a goal back. I mean, Bourne did burn a few times, but nothing came of it. Nick Pope didn't have to make a big save in the second half. Fabianski did. We turned it around. We were so much better second half, so much fitter. We looked like we could score anytime we went forward. The subs that came on all did their job again tonight. Anthony Gordon, running back and making tackles. And the one where he made a sliding tackle and then kept the ball in play, I thought was absolutely superb. Kieran Trippier made one interception, which would have seen Cornet go through on goal. Brilliant bit of defending. So even when some of the players aren't at the best, there's still players on that pitch who are just match winners, and the whole team in general, it's a team. So the players that don't play well, they're backed up by the other players and vice versa. And it's a family, it's a team. The morale, Billy, must be absolutely through the roof at the minute with those guys.
You can see it, can't you? You can see it in every performance, really. They're fighting for each other. One or two, and they make a mistake, they're patted on the back. Come on, you can do better than that. We'll do it next time, and you see it in every phase of play. And at the end of every game, when we've won the game, you see how together they are. It's brilliant to see. Something we haven't seen for a long, long time in Newcastle United, and we're getting used to it now. And we're getting these wins week in, week out. It's a great feeling to have, isn't it?
I mean, that second half was just wonderful to commentate on. It really was. It was superb. Edward Gorn, thank you for your 200 yen. Great commentary, Paul, Billy, Alex, and the mods too. Thank you very much. Davey says the passing at times tonight was shocking, but me, the finishing was pure clinical. And Alex was right. There's your pasting, Bonnie lad. Look, first half, it was. Some of it in the second half, I don't think we give the ball away anywhere near as much as we did in the first half. Some of it was still off, but some of the passing in the second half was a joy to watch. And that's what we've been accustomed to under Eddie Howe. Some of the passing is just absolutely incredible. Barbara says, you did say, Paul, someone was in for a right hammering, and you were right. Yeah, I did say that before the kickoff, that there is going to be a team gets an absolute spanking off us, and it happened to be. Julie J says, only Declan Rice and Jared Bourne that were any good. Some good stuff from Cornet when he came on. Oh, Paqueta played well as well, Julie. I think his class shone through tonight. He is a good player. There's no doubt about that. And I actually think Declan Rice won't be at West Ham next season. He just won't be.
That just goes to show for everybody who says that Declan Rice is overhyped just because he's English.
Yeah.
We are a really hard team to play against, and he looked really good. You know,
I mean,
Man United
Tony, I don't know what game you...
well.
Rice was nowhere tonight. I mean, give over. He controlled the first half. He was all over the place. Second half, he never stopped running, despite what the score was. I mean, that's
imagine if you put Rice in our midfield.
Whew. Imagine if you put Paul on the back. Where's he gone? He's pressed the wrong button again, hasn't he?
Himself off.
Yeah, beg your pardon.
Sent himself. Well, Emerson should have sent himself off.
He should have, yeah, absolutely. Who comes now? He's on his way back. He's pressed the wrong button again.
I love it when I press the mouse button and it goes off. It's really
Anyhow, I've just noticed the top left-hand corner of your screen, Paul. That's a bit of a celebration to be had by all, isn't it?
We're currently sitting at 18,023 subscribers. So we have literally got probably, I don't know what we started on tonight. I think it was about 17,024. I think we've almost had 100 subs tonight. I can't remember what it was on, guys. Something around 17,026, I'm sure it was. Just thank you so much. I mean, we did have the numpties that kept on subscribing and unsubscribing, and that may well be the case that some do it overnight just to be clever. But we'll wait and see what it's like in the morning until I completely celebrate. But thank you so much, guys. It's been an incredible night. It really has. And this channel can only go on to bigger and better things with your guys' help out there. But listen, we will be back tomorrow night with the actual review of the game. Alex, Billy, thank you very much. I'll let you go and celebrate before you hit the sack. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Indeedy.
Thank you very much.
Already. Good night.
So there you go. There's Billy and Alex's thoughts. But don't forget, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we will have the match review. And what a review that's going to be. And, of course, the player ratings as well. So don't forget to join us for that, in which we will be celebrating that scoreline there at the bottom of the screen. West Ham United 1, Newcastle United 5. Incredible, absolutely incredible night. You know, we can say what we want, guys. It just, the excitement now is incredible within this football team. It really is. They're playing with confidence. They're playing with fantastic morale, ability. Everything is there for what we need to see. I mean, we've just expanded the goal difference on Manchester United. Man United did win tonight, by the way, by 1-0 through Marcus Rashford after 27 minutes. So Brentford obviously giving a good account of themselves at Old Trafford. And they'll be, listen, they'll be up for the game on Saturday. They're at home. It's another tough game for us, but my God, we play like we did in the second half there. I mean, listen, 3 halves of football out of 4, we have been bloody superb. And even that half that we weren't good, we still came out of it with a 2-1 lead. So absolutely superb. There's no doubt about it. Everybody is buzzing. And we will certainly be buzzing tomorrow night for the actual match review. And, of course, we'll have the player ratings as well. So you can obviously join in on that. I know I said there was going to be a members giveaway tonight, but that's going to be tomorrow night. I think it's been a bit too hectic tonight. So we will have our members draw tomorrow night. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning a prize, get yourselves, hit that join button, become a member. If you're on Apple, you'll need to go across to Instagram, find the Toon Review on there, click the link in the bio. It'll take you a desktop version of YouTube, which you can join on there if you're on iOS. For some reason, it's very strange on Apple to get joined up. But there you go. What an absolutely superb night. It's been incredible, to say the least. Absolutely incredible. Thank you to everybody that's newly subscribed. We hope that you'll enjoy being part of the Toon Review community. Thank you to everybody for sending in super chats. You're absolute legends. Obviously, this is a full-time job for me. I love doing it. I love interacting with all you guys out there, so it does help me a lot. But I appreciate everybody's views. It's views for me that are the important thing, that you guys keep coming back and enjoying what we bring you on this channel. And we love you all. The mods, thank you so much. You've been absolutely brilliant tonight. Another crazy show with over 1,500 people viewing. You guys, what you do for this channel is fantastic, and I thank each and every one of you. You are absolutely awesome. Thank you to Billy and Alex for their comments at halftime and full time. But mainly thank you to you guys out there. You have been absolutely awesome again. Please join us again at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, where we'll go through and celebrate this absolutely incredible victory. But in the meantime, guys, go and celebrate for an hour or so before you hit the hay tonight. Newcastle United still third in the Premier League. Final score, West Ham United 1, Newcastle United 5, 2 from Wilson, 2 from Joelinton, and 1 from... who got the other one? My mind's gone blank. Isak, of course, with the lob over the keeper. Of course it was. But thank you very much. We will see you tomorrow night. Good night and God bless.